in the 2028-2029 financial year. Governor Lenku said KWS collects more than 3 billion shillings annually from Amboseli National Park.
Everybody agreed that this community must have a stake in this Amboseli. And therefore, we are all asking, what are these instruments that the president gave, including symbols of animals in Amboseli that were handed to me on the 8th of November 2025, signifying that the transition has completed. 23rd August 2023 to 8th November 2026 was the period within which all those legal hurdles were complied with. And therefore, the Man Nation, the people are saying, we will go back to the park and take our park from KWS.
Okay, before we go that route, because I know they're armed with spears and all those sorts of things. What is a legal requirement? Let's because National Park, National Reserve, it's about categorization, gazettement, etc. So there's a legal requirement. What is that legal requirement that we have fallen short on that is leading to this standoff?
And conservationists have opposed government plans to construct Kithoka Airport, the Meru State Lodge and a golf course within Imenti Forest, warning that the projects will threaten the forest ecosystem. Speaking in Nairobi, led by Friends of Karura chairperson Professor Karanja Njoroge, they called on the government to strengthen the protection of forests and hold developments they say could undermine conservation efforts.
The National Land Commission has the responsibility to protect forest land. It is not Kenya Forest Service. It is not the government of Kenya. It is that is constituted by the Constitution, the National Land Commission. So we challenge them. We challenge you, National Land Commission, do your work.
The group also warned that rising deforestation continues to threaten the country's forests, blaming the Ministry of Environment and Wildlife, the KFS, the KWS, NEMA, and the National Lands Commission for failing to protect forest land from encroachment. And that's the news. I'm Sheila Timbur.
102.5 SpiceFM, Kisumu. Broadcasting worldwide, SpiceFM. Online, mobile, and on radio. Facebook at SpiceFM KE.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Every time he kept on saying he wants a vibrant opposition.
How does it make sense that public money has been used already and then they dare to sell it back to you? Why they're not giving them for free?
That's how broken we are. That's how broken we are.
They're being sent home now for fees. They're going to fail to prepare. We are compromising the futures of these children.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Presidency is fairly interesting in the sense that it will actually take us to a new consciousness.
Swali zile watu waulizi na swali muuliza na shangala ni aje kwani huku kunaendaje?
30 billion shillings annually on travel alone in public service.
A Kenyan can even demonstrate every single day of his life that Ruto must go. That is the only message of his demonstration. That is his right.
That bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and subverts the cause of those who are in the right.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Government itself deliberately schemes to influence through bribery members of parliament.
You pay for a passport online. Alafu you're told there are no booklets.
I rebuke matters corruption because corruption has brought this country to its knees.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Baba should disown these experts and say they went there on the, because he keep on telling us that these experts just you came from Dubai and you found them there already at State House looking for jobs.
Government has to has to introduce austerity measures. It's something that this government and the previous ones have not been able to do in this country. We've talked about it so many times.
And really, I think you have seen the modus operandi of William Samoei Ruto since he came in. It's just showbiz.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Parliament has got powers. Let me break it down. The National Assembly can initiate an impeachment of the president.
This same
and the
National
Senate,
Assembly.
Yes.
That's our constitution.
This is just a continuation of the previous administration, which Ruto was part of. President Uhuru himself openly said that we're losing 2 billion daily. Daily. I mean, come on. Are you saying that we don't have a central bank?
If we look at Kenya, both public-private sector, that figure is ranging between 30 to 40%, right?
I think it's clear that the government of Kenya is living beyond its means.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
We look at the utterances of leaders who are aligned to broad-based, who are initially in ODM. We thought they stand for something. Now they've been exposed.
Because we are a third world country, we are poor. And not because we don't have resources, but we have been robbed senseless.
Look at the wasteful expenditure. Look at how large government lives. And we've said this is something that can be controlled. It happens in many other countries.
Internally, we used to stand and tell him, boss, hii kitu ni mbaya. And you'd say, now he doesn't let me tell you, you saw the other parliamentary group meeting. People went there, sat, listened, looked at him. There was no plenary, left.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
A very, very, very good morning. It's Friday. It's the 10th of July. Good morning, Dennis Aseto.
Good morning, Nduh, Okoh.
How are you?
Freshy.
Kabisa. I'm fine, thank you.
Freshy kabisa.
I'm fine, thank you.
Ukoaje?
Niko salama. I can see you wearing the baby blues.
Sema uko mwecheche.
Right.
Just say it. Mwecheche.
No, I really...
You can. We believe in you. Nduh, ukoaje?
Come on. Niko salama.
Salama is actually a town. Ukoaje?
Niko mwecheche. I can see you make. I would tell my mother. You guys are making fun of me.
Yeah.
Joe Kamanya, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm happy.
You're happy?
Yes.
That's very good.
I'm happy.
That's very good. I'm glad that you're happy.
How do you say 10th?
It's July 10th.
10th.
Yes, it is.
You know how many days are you from 10th of August?
Let's go.
Yo.
It should be 397 days now.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Happy.
That's where we are.
Yes.
So you realize once we get to August, that will be the last August.
A crucial countdown.
The last August of what?
Of
until the next
people
election.
to be in office.
So there will be...
You can say it, Dennis. You can say it. Like 11th of August.
Get to September, that's the only September.
That's the only September you have. To rob us, to brag, to drive, to lead, to dictate, to take,
to stupidity.
Everything. So, be informed.
Okay.
You have 13 pay slips to go home.
Even though
I'm happy. This is me being happy.
That is what is making you happy.
Yes.
Sawa. Okay, I'm very happy that you're happy. EVE was, how are you this morning? We have not been able to establish. She's put one thumb up. That's only one. 2, half, 1.5, something.
Slightly
something.
happy.
Okay.
Okay.
Marion just, you know how those movies you watch when somebody is at their computer and they think there's somebody behind them, and then you pass and then you just see, shwa, shwa. That's how Marion is. Yeah, she's like that person, ghost, witch, something inside the darkness. But then when she shows up, she shows up. Good morning. Mutanu is here. Joyline is here. Good morning, everybody. And let's get into it.
Mutanu is in white.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. Still soft-spoken.
It's not about to change. You know who else is here today on time? Voke, good morning.
Hey.
Ulilala kwa nyumba leo. We are very happy. Good morning. We are glad to see you.
Ama ulala karibu na ofisi.
Ama kwa ofisi.
Ama ulala karibu na ofisi. The people are proud. The people are very proud. We are very happy to see you.
Did you give a report on the fake...
by the way, you know how in a clinical trial, they use lab rats or whatever it is. Sasa Voke.
We are waiting for the report.
We wanted to tell us whether it's real or fake. You'll tell us. Sawa. At 6:15, everybody, good morning. This is The Situation Room. It's Kenya's biggest conversation. And as we get into it this Friday, Dennis tola Aseto, Joe Kamanya, mwenyewe, Nduh Okoh with you this morning, and we're getting into conversations today. So who shall we be speaking to today? Let me tell you in just a minute. We will have a conversation starting at 7 o'clock today on issues with whether shifting allegiances amid a call for renaissance makes sense. The Member of Parliament for Saboti constituency is Caleb Amisi. He will join us at 7 o'clock. We'll have that conversation with him for a minute and find out, okay, there seems to be jitters here and there. What exactly is going on? Is there still a call for renaissance? Is there still a call for united, opposition? Is there an opposition? All of those. We'll talk with Bwana Amisi at 7 o'clock. And that will take us out into a conversation which at some point we'll talk with you today. But then we'll get into a conversation about a big health issue for a lot of people. And this one physiologically affects women, but psychologically and socially affects everybody. So a Healthy Friday conversation for today, which we've not had a Healthy Friday conversation for a minute. Fibroids and fertility. Rhoda Wajiro Kibunja is a patient. Dr. Noshad Karim is a fibroids treatment expert at the Aga Khan University Hospital. There are many people who've gone through this, are living with them and sometimes do not know, are living with them and hoping that they will go away, or have lived with them for a long time and then had to get something like a hysterectomy because it was just too crazy. Hysterectomy, of course, we know, is a complete removal of the uterus, right? So it's a big issue, and a lot of people are having to go through it. So that's our Healthy Friday conversation today. We'll talk about it today. So let's get geared up for that, because that's what our conversations look like today. Karibuni sana. Thank you for being here this morning. It's a lovely Friday morning. It's the 10th of July. There must be something that you can be grateful for today. We'll say hello to you. Our live streams are up on YouTube, on Facebook, and on X, and wherever it is that you're tuned in around the region, the country, and the world. We're very, very happy that you decided to join us this morning. Let me tell you where it is that you're tuned in around the country. If you're in Kisumu, 102.5, 87.9 in Mombasa, 90.9 in Njeri, of course 94.4 in Nairobi, 96.0 in Nakuru, 96.7 in Eldoret, and 97.6 in Malindi. Karibuni sana nyote. Hey, did you hear that Kiswahili? Okay, thanks. Sasa, it's the last day.
Can you say 94.4 in Swahili?
Wait. You see, now I told you when I have pressure, now everything flies out the window. Wait. Tisa ne. What is dot? What is dot in Kiswahili? Nukta. I knew it was nukta. Nukta ne.
Now start again.
Tisa ne nukta nne.
Tisini na nne.
Tisini na nne.
Nukta nne.
Nukta nne. Why are you looking at me like that? I've tried. Have I not tried?
Is it tisini or tisaini?
I don't know. See, now you're the ones to tell me. Tisini na nne.
Yes.
94.4. Tisini na nne.
Tisaini.
Nukta nne. Nairobi.
Yes, that's the frequency for Nairobi.
Hey, I'm even sweating.
No, you're getting there.
Okay. Okay. We got there. All right. Mr. Aseto in the Baby Blues, you took us to
Liberia.
Let's go.
Yeah. Kamanya. Oldest republic, 1847, is when it was established. Oldest republic in the continent, right?
Yes.
Returnees or released slaves from the Americas, so African Americans come back and say, this is our country called Liberia, rich in rubber, timber, diamond, and gold. Another first female president to be elected in the continent, Ellen Sirleaf Johnson. The proverb we get today: when the fowl is being slaughtered, let the turkey not laugh, because after the fowl, it will be its turn.
Oh, that's easy. It means 10th of August is coming. Your day is coming. Your day is so coming. Be informed, be aware that, like goes around, comes around. Sometimes we take refuge in life when you see things happening around, but they're not happening to us. So we take comfort like, don't worry, it's not me. And then the day comes when it is you. And then it hits and hits hard, and there's no one to help you or even celebrate with you. Sometimes it's not just the bad things, even the good things, So it means, in my opinion, like, be mindful of others. Show concern where you can, like enjoying yourself in solving problems or even creating problems, whatever. Just be involved with the world around you, because tomorrow it might be you. Like it will be them on 10th of August. Like, your day is coming.
Nduh Okoh.
Violence. Kabisa. It's like Kimiak.
Yeah.
Just repeat the proverb for me again.
When the fowl is being slaughtered, let the turkey not laugh, because after the fowl, it will be its turn.
Very true. If you glee in the misfortune of others, at some point it will be you. You would hope that you would find some help or solace from somebody else. But if you laughed, because after all, he who laughs last laughs best.
I'm going to interpret that using what Orengo once said. I am warning you that the government eats its own children. Today you will protect that which you think which is being done to others is okay. Until that time when the tables turn and you realize, Allah, perhaps maybe I should have fixed it at the time when others were trying to fix this problem.
Yes. It's a lesson, I think, for all of us. I'm telling you, as Africans, our wealth and our heritage, though in material things, I think is also largely in our tradition and the things that were passed down through oral tradition. Tales by moonlight is something that used to happen a lot, and the knowledge that was passed on from older to younger generations. I'm glad that it's being documented, and I hope that we don't ever lose it. I think that's where our wealth really, really lies. Okay, so wherever you're tuned in from this morning, Karibuni Sana, thank you for joining us, and let's say a quick hello to you. Indeed, our live streams are up on YouTube, Facebook, and on X today, and also our audience on KTN. A very good morning to you, Karibuni Sana, and thank you for being here this morning. Let's say a quick hello to you. Meanwhile, Usman Dembele. EVE, who is Usman Dembele?
Please, not Dombolo, Dembele.
Okay, who is Kylian Mbappe? Abbas, you know that one. All right. These are the two gentlemen who scored for France last night, and that meant that they sent Morocco home inadvertently, and then they enter into the next round, of course. We were well into the semi-finals of the World Cup, and somebody will lift the trophy at some point. Kamanya is looking for his final between Spain and Argentina.
Yeah, Messi ought to take it home. It's only fair.
It's only fair that Messi takes it home. Okay.
So yes, Argentina, viva.
All right, that's what we're looking into. So it's going to be an interesting weekend getting into ball, but that was a fun cracker of a match to watch last night. Les Bleus did the business, and I can see that. Are you in solidarity with them? You, Les Bleus.
When Africa is home, me. Kidogo, I'm recovering.
Africa too.
I'm recovering. Africa too later. As at now, I am in pain.
Peter Kiari says, good morning from Mombasa. Positions are temporary. Yes, they are. Ranks and titles fade, but the way you treat people will always be remembered. Kabisa, kabisa, kabisa. Robert Mbogo is tuned in from Mombasa. Christine Okoh is tuned in from the Malaba border, specifically. Okay.
Border.
That's nice. Christine, a very good morning to you. Laban Matoriki says, good morning, tuned in to the Situation Room. Karibu, Karibu. G. Kenyan says, good morning from Nairobi. Good morning to you. And Jimmy Munuthi is tuned in this morning and says, a very good morning to you. Very good to hear that IEBC is on the case about blatant bribery in Olkalau, disqualification loading. Well, we had this conversation yesterday and we said, come on, if you see such blatant things, then how about you take your stance? Let's see what the headlines say about what the IEBC is thinking, maybe, about considering to possibly do. David Kahindi says, good morning from Nairobi. God already decided those who succeed. Indeed, he has. Alex Gioko says, habari za asubuhi. Kitale is tuned in. Imagine a whole prime minister was in Trans Nzoia yesterday to launch a classroom. This syllabus in Akimbia Sana. Prime minister of what? Which prime minister?
Prime cabinet secretary, no?
So what?
I think that's what you meant. A prime cabinet secretary in Trans Nzoia launching a classroom, perhaps. That's what we were looking at.
Ogamba Migos, where are you?
Ogamba went to launch. Where are you?
No, he's launching a committee.
Oh, to look into what?
To look into the unrest in schools. He says since 1902, a lot has happened, and it's about time. He has time, he has thoughts, and he wants people to look into how we can have 1902 when the country was established.
How many
committees
were
formed?
For Ogamba, his omena needs to be ground up into paste for him to take it.
Needs to be ground into paste. And into ugali to be fortified.
Can't chew, man. Jeez.
We have how many reports?
How many reports have they told you they've done this and they told you that this is what you actually need to do, but you choose not to do it?
Actually, after what was the name of that school? I forget the name. But a report was, they came up with
after Changuli.
After Changuli.
Where 67 boys died.
Kizito's. I think Kizito.
Yeah. Kamanya, there have been 4 commissions that have sat. They have given recommendations. The Kilemi Commission gave recommendation twice. What are we talking about?
No, but he's in office. He has to do something.
But do nothing at the same time.
He has to be busy.
Yeah.
Knock me over with a feather. Oh my God. Okay.
Yep.
I am breathing. So is Aseto. Because now, okay. Isakale says, wait, before we get to you. Hisa Daniel says, good morning, Jumbo Spice. Good morning to you. Isakale says, good morning. IEBC proposed postponing elections because of voter bribery. Can you imagine? Innovative solution. Instead of arresting the thieves, simply cancel the exam or cancelling Christmas because of shopping. Yeah. Rather than say, you, stop it. Come and sit here for a minute. You decide, let's cancel the whole thing.
Guess what I'm proposing to IEBC? You know exactly who's doing the bribery, right? Why don't you strike them off this by-election? Because you can.
Breathing. We're breathing. Today is breathing day.
Me, I'm breathing in. I've not started breathing out.
You're not started breathing out. James says, hello. Whenever I watch loved ones walking into hospitals during visiting hours, I ponder, if only how we feed the sick is how we feed before we get ill, less of us would ever need the hospital beds. I think one Joe Kamanya would agree with you.
Yeah.
Eric Yoga says, good morning, tuning from Chemelil, Kisumu County. Kudos to Situation Room. I can't start my day without it. Kabisa. Those are the drugs we encourage. Margaret Wajo, he says, good morning to all Spice FM Situation Room from Houston, Texas. Happy Friday to you all and wishing you a great weekend. Let's continue the great conversation. Kabisa. Dan still like that. The only way to jumpstart my day. Karibu Kabisa. Good morning, days. Spicing team. Kenyans never learn. We groom crooks to lead us. Why not Maraga, Okoh, or Bonfas? Must the president be a crook or people with questionable past? Are we badly socialized?
Good questions.
Well, okay. Bwangi Juma says, good morning, Spice FM. How are you all this morning? We're doing well. Leo says, hello, Princess Nduh, Aseto, and Joe. On this Meru destruction story, is it State House building a lodge or is it KFS building an airstrip, or KFS is the decoy to diffuse the uproar against the project? You know what? The funny thing is, all of those things could be happening at the same time.
Yes. All of
the above.
Yes.
All of the above.
Yes.
Exactly.
It is land grabbing and more.
And more. Stephen Jume says, good morning, Team Spice. I'm from Muhoroni, ready for the greatest conversations today. Karibu, karibu. Eric Nganga is also tuned in and says, IEBC can cancel, postpone the Olkalau by-elections, but power will always belong to the people and they will not change their stand. Okay. MSP says, good morning, Spices. Insomnia kicked me out proper. Head is heavy, but since JK is in the house, it's soothing. Happy Friday to you too. Karibu, karibu. Kimiak. A very good morning, y'all. Good morning. Countdown 397 days to the fall of the butcher. Whoa. Still, let it be known that nothing good will come out of the Kenya Kwanzaa administration. Sylvia Elegua says, good morning, guys. Nduh, Dennis, and Joe. Happy to see Joe today. Aseto killing me with that baby blue. Nduh, great energy as always. I took my drugs today. Wanda, good morning. Nduh and Aseto from Toronto. Hi, Joe. I've missed seeing you for too long.
Missed you too.
Africa is out of the World Cup. Yes, she is. But I was happy for France. Next up is East Africa for AFCON. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Talanta Stadium is ready. Amma? Almost.
I actually pushed there yesterday at night, and the lights.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's
man.
nice. It looks really
nice.
good. Yeah.
Especially when the flag is just beaming.
It looks good.
It looks nice.
I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that. Patricia Arum says, good morning, Princess Nduh and the two gentlemen. Humanity is sinking lower and lower. A child has killed 2 children in Kisii. I'm tired. Yeah, that was a difficult story to even read, watch. Yikes. Wanda says, also, I'm going to stay up to hear about the fibroids. Thanks for the topic. Yes, it's a big one. Let's tune into that. Stanley Ngasha says, good morning, Team TSR. France, here we come. France, here we come for the victory, or you're coming for them? I don't know which one. Everton Lucorito, I'm thinking that EVE, one Davis Mberia might be happy to hear that there's somebody called Everton.
Everton
Lucorito, yes. We shall tell him later. Of course, the Paul Mberia, or rather Davis Mberia, Robinson Okenye, and Hassan Juma are hosting the KTN 2020 World Cup 2026 every afternoon at 2 p.m. And so there's a running joke in the house, but the boys will be on that beat at 2 today. So you want to tune into that and get the latest from that. Andrew Chira tunes in, rather. Kitaeleweka 16th, All Karao, GK branded mattresses, Meko. Good morning, guys. Vancouver, Washington tuned in this morning. Kao Nyambura natupenda sana. Na tunakupenda too, my sister. Luhimbo's tuned in this morning from Dar, as usual. Indeed, let's be grateful despite all the malafide by the people we entrusted and gave them power. Have a lovely weekend. Yes, there's always something to be grateful for. Kabisa, kabisa. Getting through it quickly. Christina, we see you. Very good morning to you. Good morning, guys, says Eric Awar. Eric, good morning. Christine says, today I want to request the producer to play Wajinga Nyinyi. Because why? Because by the way, please bring King Kaka and Juliana to tell us more behind the revolutionary music. By-elections is a by-election, yani kununua election. Is Kenya a republic or a democracy? Margaret Wanjohi is asking. It's Kenny says, good morning. My mom had the same fibroids problem back when I was in high school, and that's the fuel that got me through medical school. Okay. I joined this battle because I actually joined it. # the good fight. It's a big conversation, Kenny, and lovely to hear that. That's what you did. And hoping that mom is okay. And Wamwitha says, good morning, Spice family. By now, I think my next door neighbors think my frequency button doesn't function. I always tune to 90.9 every single day. I love you guys. Well, love you too. And thank you very much for being here. Bernard said, Kiswahili equivalent of today's proverb, Mwenzako akinyolewa tia chako maji. Did I say that badly?
No.
Drift Session says, good morning. I don't want to try and read the next one because I will butcher it. Christina, we see you there talking about the proverb. To the proverb goes back to Buru. He's 80 promoting dictatorship because he's eating, forgetting he has children and grandchildren whose dream is a better Kenya. Paul Olaka really quickly says, good morning. Andrew Chira says, boats zinamaliza, zikanimaliza. Yeah, they are boats in Olkalau. Vintage Joke says, hi Nduh, Dennis. Hi all, set for the show. Karibu sana. Bashir says, good morning from Garissa. Happy weekly Eid, since it is Friday indeed. Hey, I can't say your name, but okay. Good morning, team. Nduh, I admire your love for Omena. You would be surprised. It's actually not a love for Omena. It's quite the opposite. Aseto, I love your hood. Plug me sometime. Where you've been told to open a line. Scarf guy. Your style is on point. It's Friday.
Thank
Whoop.
you.
Have a great one.
You.
Mtuflani says, good morning to the princess, Sir Shut Up, the Duke of Scarf, and the squad. The nation of Kenya suffereth violence, and the violence taketh by force. Tibbs Muga says, good morning to everyone in Spice FM team. Georgia Demo says, good morning, Spice. Love your informative sessions. Rongo Power. The Kenyan prettiest Copeland. Hey. G Kenyan, Oburu calling for dictatorship at his age is appalling. Yeah. Good morning. I know. Sorry. You're tuned in from the south of the USA. Which south exactly? And good morning, says Permanus Wamoya. Good morning, Spice FM. Everybody, good morning. Lovely to have you in the room today. Karibu.
The prettiest Copeland.
The prettiest Copeland.
Hey. Salute.
Salute, kabisa. Now tell us which south you're tuned in from. Ama?
Yep.
All right, let's do this real quick. Take a look at what's happening on the roads, in the air, and we'll come back and see what's going on in the headlines. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. The weather with Spice FM.
All right, partly cloudy conditions in Nairobi at 13. We will see later on a high of 23. It's 15 and cloudy. Looking into Nakuru and into Naivasha, it's 14 and cloudy conditions. Arabian Party in Njeri, it's 14 and partly cloudy. 20 and mostly clear into Kisumu, while Kakamega is clear at 16. 22 and mostly cloudy into Mombasa, while at 25 it is sunny in Malindi. 18 and sunny into Marsabit, while at 18 it's clear in Kampala. And 21 and mostly clear in Dar es Salaam. 7 degrees and clear conditions in Johannesburg, while at 26 Lagos is cloudy. It's 22 and cloudy into London, and cloudy at 27 Beijing into Friday afternoon. Mostly cloudy at 24 in New York on Thursday night. Coming into Friday, we'll see a high of 24 and a low of 23.
Spice it, everything nice. Spice FM.
Spice up your life. Traffic.
Okay, where are you this morning? And let's take a look at what's happening with traffic as you get into the city. Just a little bit of it as you come towards the Pangani underpass, coming off the Thika Superhighway. As you come off of Thika Road, you're not going to have too much happening there. A little bit of traffic on Jogo Road as you come in from Manyanja Road, connecting off of Outer Ring. But apart from that, I don't know, things seem to dull on a Friday, but we're going to keep an eye on all of this. Could be still early at this point. We'll see what happens as we get into the day. Spice FMK, EONX, hashtag The Situation Room.
Hii Julai, toa baridi na bei chini, burudani juu kwenye Star Times. Usikose Sura ya Pili, simulizi ya ziada. Mwanamke aliyetelekezwa na mumewe Sam na kujikuta akikabiliwa na maamuzi magumu. Je, atabaki na kupigania ndoa yake au ataondoka na kuanza ukurasa mpya wa maisha? Jiunge na waigizaji Anita Wawuda, Gibson Hausa, Michael Saruni, Ivy Wanjiku na Jovial kila Jumatatu hadi Ijumaa saa 2 kamili kwenye Rainbow TV. Pata aerial decoder kwa shilingi 1399 tu na dish decoder kwa shilingi 2499 pekee. Jiunge leo katika maduka yetu kote nchini Kenya. Bonyeza *858# kurenew subscription yako na kuenjoy offer ya kupata upgrade to the next high bouquet valid till 31st July. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Saturday is match day and Spice FM is where the game comes alive.
Oh, you beauty! What a head!
From 2 to 6 p.m., we are bringing you wall-to-wall football action on the pitch side. Live scores,
2 goals in added time,
heated debates, fun reactions, pre-match predictions, and post-match analyses and football gossips. Join us on Spice FM at the pitch side, hosted by Charles Otieno and Eshitemi Rogers. It's bold opinions, raw passion, and no VAR needed. The pitch side on Saturdays, 2 to 6 p.m. only on 94.4 Spice FM.
I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
All right, our conversations continue this morning, but let's take a look into the headlines. We start with the Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard. Open bribery is what is on the front page of The Standard today. And IEBC is all bark without bite. All bark and no bite is what the IEBC is called this morning. Never before has Okoh witnessed such a flood of government projects, cash, and senior state officials. A constituency that had been neglected for years has suddenly become the focus of an extraordinary spending spree as Kenya Kwanza seeks to deliver victory for its candidate in a by-election seen as a referendum on President William Ruto's shrinking support in Mount Kenya. Critics warn the vote buying is happening in broad daylight as hapless IEBC issues repeated warnings but appears powerless to enforce the Electoral Code of Conduct. In the middle there is IBC Chair Erastus Ethekon, and there's cylinders of gas to his right. There's logs for electricity poles below. There's pipes for running water. And then there are folks carrying mattresses on the other side. This is what he's surrounded by. Voter bribery is what it's being called. We're going to get into that in a little bit because yikes. That's the story. Take it as you may. I'm going to go to page 2 really quickly. Okay. Abubakar Zain, quiet reform giant who helped shape modern Kenya. Do you know who he is? He helped spread constitutional reforms and contributed to drafting the landmark 2010 Constitution. He was a respected artist and cultural advocate who used creative expression to promote justice and civic engagement. He's a former Iyala MP. He died yesterday while undergoing treatment at a Nairobi hospital. Was among the activists who campaigned for constitutional reforms and later took part in drafting the 2010 Constitution. He's known as Zain. He was among reform activists who regularly gathered at Ufungamano House in the early 2000s to push for a new constitution under the leadership of the late Dr. Okoh Mbaka and Mutava Musimi. There's a lot to this man, but may his soul rest in peace. There's a lot to him in terms of what he did. Abubakar Zain, one of the greats. 80 Kenyans die of cancer daily as MPs push for more funding. This is big. It is. Yes, it is. And we know that we know what the big three of the big C is in Kenya. It's not funny. National Cancer Institute says another 125 cases are diagnosed every day amid growing strain on healthcare system. So we're looking at 80 deaths per day, but 125 diagnoses of cancer. Lawmakers back increased funding, review of shark cancer cover, and expansion of palliative care to tackle rising burden. National Assembly Health Committee Chairperson James Nyakal was there during the committee's budget oversight visit to the National Care Institute of Kenya in Nairobi yesterday.
One would think that instead of investing in Talanta Stadium, you would invent in a cancer treatment center.
Perhaps.
A facility that would be fully equipped, even reduce medical tourism to India and other countries. One would think that a government that cares would just, equip Kenyatta Hospital and other referral hospitals. Would even be having a specialized unit.
Cancer research
to deal with,
One would imagine.
One would think, One would think that also our food systems would be looked into and establish the causes and thereafter preventive mechanisms and measures that would reduce, the spread of cancer. Because after payment of the hefty treatment, also most people don't survive.
No, they don't.
Can I tell you what would have happened?
Right.
If we just paused and decided to use the 104 billion shillings in setting up a proper cancer center, perhaps we would be somewhere. Because we had the money, 104 billion shillings.
Yes, was there.
Yes.
Yeah. But
just saying.
I think we needed to invest in IT.
Yeah.
One would think. But the day is coming
It's not too far.
But it's sad anyway.
It's very sad.
Loss of life, disintegration of family. Families are plunged into poverty because of the hefty cost of the cancer treatment.
Exactly.
It is very sad. It's no joke.
It's not a joke. Yeah. It's not a joke. It's dreaded. Not just because of what the disease does to a person, but then also the stripping effect on the people around, their loved one.
Yep.
I mean, you start to pray and you say, may it never befall. Not just because, it's a horrible disease, but that at the same time, the destruction that it leaves in its wake around the family, that we can do something about it. And this is where preventative care comes into place. That doctors tell us, oncologists tell us that, you know what, if we are screening regularly, if we're making sure that nutrition is right, then we can actually find these things early. And it is possible for people to recover from cancer when it is discovered early.
Right.
Now, when we talk about SHA offering situations where preventative care is cheaper than curative care, that's where you want to invest.
Right.
That's just like both of you are saying. That's where you want to invest. But are we?
No.
What's happening is that 4 Kamkunji officers have been linked to 21 million shillings theft. I just thought I'd mention that. By-election spending spree in Okoh despite warning by IEBC. Do you know what it's like? It's like you see all of these things happening, and then you know that you hear a bark, woof, woof. Then now you look for where the dog is barking. Then you see a tiny chihuahua somewhere behind the gate under a mattress barking. That's what IEBC is doing right now. This bribery is taking place, then IEBC is standing behind the fence saying, woof, woof, stop bribe. Shut down the thing. Come on. The people who are responsible for this thing, how's supposed to have the conversation with them?
They will say no one has reported the matter.
They'll say they're waiting for police to investigate.
Let me tell you, that's total BS. You know why? Because under the electoral laws, you know exactly what is happening. You are an adult. I would assume everybody there is an adult and can see wrong for what it is. You know that today we are taking fishing boats.
Yep.
How have these guys been fishing here? So all of a sudden you realize, we need some research boats to shut up now. No.
Even a train. They launched a train.
Yeah.
They did.
They did.
There's nothing they didn't do, I'm telling you. Look, I said there is a county. First of all, do you know how long it takes a palm tree to grow to maturity? There's a county where the president was visiting, and within a week, fully mature palm trees had spawned from nowhere.
Could withstand even winds.
So the painful thing for me is that these things can be done, but you choose
when
is best to do them.
But did you know our what do you call them, transformer? The Kenya Power transformers can be mobile. Apparently during the Mbere North by-election, some electricity, the last mile connectivity happened. So some transformers were installed, but the installation, their stay in Embu seems to have expired. Now they've been taken from Embu to where?
Kalau.
So they're always on transit.
Yeah.
So, best you know.
Another interesting thing is, I've never seen a GOK cylinder gas.
Oh yeah,
I've seen one.
Until
my question is, once people of Kalau Imeisha, where do you refill it?
Government. You go to the chief's office. I think.
Well, I wonder.
I mean,
you guys are just assuming that they'll still be there the week from next week Wednesday. Okay, just assume away.
Okay.
KCSE stars are missing out on top courses, guys. This is a big issue that continues to be the COOPS placement. Those who were placed or not placed continues to be an issue. DCP dares Murkomen. Arrest Gachagua if you have any evidence. Arrest him. We dare you. Just play with us.
Nishike.
Call police. Imagine they've told the head of the police, call police.
Call police.
Nimrod Mbai, who is the DCP Secretary for Planning. Nimrod, okay. If you think Gachagua has offended any law, go ahead and arrest him. They are only fearful because Gachagua has exposed the government and they have no evidence. IEBC pushes for law changes as poll nears. Pushes who? See it? Annoy me not. Pushes who? Are they pushing what? Pushing who? Okay. They want to change the law now. Okay, that should be fun. Rising forest destruction rocks state's 15 billion tree planting drive. That's the problem.
Yep.
Tawa, the reason why the state cannot finish its 15 billion tree planting drive is because the forest is being destroyed.
Well, let me tell you, the very same government that wants to build a state house in the middle of a forest and also have an airstrip there. Okay. Now it's complaining that because we are destroying forest, we can't plant 15 billion trees. Okay. How many have you cut down in that forest?
I mean, it's just sad. The appetite for deforestation, land grabbing, poor planning of this regime is just alarming. Remember what happened to Gong Forest? A hotel was coming up.
Yes.
They've installed a tarmac road just in the middle of Karura Forest. There's an existing tug of war in Kajiado County on the Amboseli.
And Amboseli,
yeah. And then another
There is
conservancy, just here, I think between Naivasha and Nakuru, on your way to Nakuru, a conservancy to the left has been converted to a greenhouse, whatever farming system, like acres and acres. You're just there next to the road. I wonder why the monkeys are not protesting.
That's a good question.
I mean, and here we are talking about global warming, weather, and all that.
Well, looking into the opinion pages this Friday, it's a Friday, so Peter Kimani is giving a slice and dice of politics, culture, and society. The people of All Kalau say it's our turn to eat, but don't think with bellies. That's what's happening in the Standard. Over to you, sir.
So let's go to the Daily Nation. Battle of bigwigs in All Kalau. So on the left is President William Ruto. On the right is former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and retired President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, as IEBC warns it may postpone mini election, question is, the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission has warned that it could postpone or even cancel the All Kalau parliamentary by-election if insecurity, voter bribery, and other breaches of the Electoral Code of Conduct continue. It has already happened. It's an illegality. What else are you waiting for? Arrest people or cancel it already. Now, state set to pay 6.9 billion shillings for Talanta this month. So the payment, flagged by Control of Budget Margaret Nyakango, will raise total disbursement to the contractor China Road and Bridge Corporation to 28.97 billion shillings since construction began on the 1st of March 2024. So Omondi Tunya is the magistrate of Kenya's dark courtroom years. Now, to the judiciary, he was a distinguished career officer who rose from the magistracy to the High Court. But to many former detainees, lawyers, and pro-democracy activists, his name belongs to a darker archive. Mambo ni mengi. And let's go to page 2. So it's the story of Omondi Tunya, the justice there. Story has been expanded there. And Ruto, Gachagua, and Uhuru face high-stakes political battle in All Kalau. There we can see a woman. There is a tree that she is carrying and 2 cylinders of gas.
She's carrying a tree.
I think this could be.
She's a seedling.
That's a seedling.
Okay.
A tree seedling.
Okay.
Zingine zikupia kwa mgongo. So yeah, perhaps agriculture as well is being pushed there. All of a sudden we have seeds that you can give farmers. IEBC threatens to pull the plug on All Kalau by-election. Mr. Ethicon, just pull the plug. Stop telling us. DCI takes over probe into suspended 6.2 billion shillings public service payroll scam. So yeah, DCI said anyone who will be found to have broken the law, the long arm.
It's long arm.
It's long arm will catch you. Will catch you. Now, court bars speakers from using offices in campaigns. Like lawyers would tell you, the law is very
clear.
The constitution is very
clear.
Anyone in public office should not participate in
campaign.
Have they broken the law?
Yes.
So how are you barring someone who's already been barred by the law? All you need to do is to put them in, have them resign. EACC, where are you? Ethics. Mary Wambui loses bid to halt Glee Hotel takeover. So businesswoman Mary Wambui has lost her bid to stop Equity Bank from taking over Glee Hotel after the High Court declined to suspend the lender's appointment administrator. So hapo iko shida na hoteli hapo. Now there's that story of the state paying 6.9 billion shillings for Talanta this month. And we go to pages 12 where Joy, disappointment after COOPS releases results for university placement. So about 3,000 applicants who did not secure any of the preferred programs opted out of consideration for alternative courses. I did not get the course of my choice. Kaini na mambo yenu.
I'm out. Exactly.
Yeah. Joe Kamanya.
The Nairobian. It says, there's a holy cover-up. Did you know that?
It's a story that Dennis has some issue with earlier this week. Please read the headline, then you'll understand.
It says a holy cover-up. Priest's secret son, the church hid him. He says, behind the priestly robes, funeral honors and vows of celibacy lay a secret that survived the grave. It took one determined mother, 3 successive bishops, and a decade in court before a judge finally recognized the child at the center of the inheritance dispute. The story continues on page 4 and 5. It's about a bishop. Is it a bishop or a father? This is a father. You know, they're meant to be celibate.
A father. Yeah, and your father.
Yeah, that was the point, that if a priest has a son, then you start to do mathematics. Like, okay.
So when he passed on, he left all his loot, his inheritance.
Oh, okay. Wow.
According to his will, he left the administration of his estate to the incumbent bishop of the diocese, whom he named as the sole executor. He was laid to rest with full pomp befitting a man of God, vigil service, funeral mass, priestly investment, and the whole 9 yards. But according to a high court ruling seen by the Nairobian, the man in the coffin was hiding a secret that would take 10 years, 3 bishops, and 1 determined mother to drag into the open, with the main protagonist in the succession saga being Nancy Jepketer Ruto. She was Father Gino's clandestine lover, and together the duo sired the boy born on July 4th, 2003, and identified in court papers only as DK. Well, from pulpit to paternity court. It's interesting how the men of cloth behave. Another story is there are many. From sermons to scandals. Bishop Kingei and the Holy Fire. Hey, not just Holy Ghost, Holy Fire.
Yes.
Holy Fire.
Holy Fire.
Fire banding.
So he says backlash over the bishop's disclosure of a staff member's struggles has been sharpened by administrative turmoil within the JCM and Kingei's past conduct. Silas Nyamoya writes that Bishop Benson Muthee Kingei of JCM is facing public backlash after discussing the private marital disputes of members of his pastoral team on his social media accounts. Kenyans on social media have accused the clergyman of hypocrisy, arguing that a man whose own turbulent personal history has repeatedly played out in public has no standing to expose the private lives of his staff. And someone says that the moment someone shares their pain with a leader, they are also placing their dignity in that leader's hands, making every pastor or counselor a steward of that trust. Many stories surrounding the men of cloth, also sex, shots, and summertides.
Oh, gosh.
The beach party without rules. That goes on page 7. About what was going down in the quiet town of Malindi, but it wasn't quiet.
It wasn't quiet.
So he says, as darkness settled over the quiet Malindi town, the tourist town erupted into a sea of flashing lights, roaring engines, and booming bars. The Summertide Festival took Malindi town by storm as artists showcased their talents while attendees immersed themselves in merrymaking. Convoys of luxury vehicles rolled through the streets while thousands of young people poured into the beachside venues dressed in bikinis, crop tops, and festival wear.
Who organizes that thing? I just want to understand.
Well,
it's like
perhaps what you may want to understand finally is a story on page 2.
Okay.
And my guy.
Yes.
Beware. You know the reason that neighbor of yours is being friendly now? Why she's being friendly? It is one of the 10 ways, ridiculous things single Kenyans are doing to survive July cold weather.
Oh, stop it.
I mean...
Come on.
So, one of them is hot water bottle becomes bay. True. Kevo.
Kevo Nyaji.
Next, Netflix until sunrise. Number 3, sleeping like an Arctic explorer.
Okay.
All layered up. Number 4, tea and uji therapy.
Okay.
Number 5, every Kesha looks attractive.
My friend, Netflix and chill, Kesha.
Number 6, and this has nothing to do with Mutanu or EVE, but the boyfriend migration plan is deployed.
Under Article 2C.
Hey, number 7, Chaco becomes the central heating system.
Yeah.
Right? Number 8, recalling the children. This is child abuse. Now, the mother suddenly remembers the children deserve quality bonding time. Secretly, she also knows the children somehow generate surprising amounts of warmth and make the house feel less lonely during the freezing evenings. That is why she recalls the children back from wherever they are, Ushago or elsewhere. And then number 9, this is why your neighbor friend has been working, behaving weird, befriending the neighbor. That fellow girl who used to ignore everybody, I tell you, she used to ignore everybody. In the plot, suddenly starts greeting the neighbor with unusual enthusiasm.
Balbu yangu iliungua.
Sijui ya baridi.
Yeah.
Habari jo.
Balbu yangu iliharibika.
She offers you
your bedroom.
Yes.
Kuja unifixie.
Never get out of my house.
Yeah, Nastly refusing to leave the house. There are some of the weird things, ridiculous things people are doing to keep warm. What are you doing out there?
Wear a sweater, man. Jeez, stop the drama. Come on. It's 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Spice FM, Nakuru. Traffic. The latest news from around the world. 94.4 Spice FM.
Good morning, this is the news. I'm Sheila Tembur. The All-Kalau by-election could be postponed or cancelled if electoral offences persist, the IEBC has warned. Speaking during the launch of the 2022 pre-election dispute resolution report and case digest, IEBC chairperson Erastus Ethekon said the commission has received reports of voter bribery, violence and the misuse of state resources in the campaign. He warned that candidates found culpable risk disqualification.
Daytime, the place is peaceful. At night, madness descends. And on 1st July, sadly, such a confrontation late in the night resulted in the death of one person. If we find that the environment is not conducive enough for us to conclude the by-election in All-Kalau, we will be left with no choice other than to take the most unfortunate and drastic step of postponing the elections in All-Kalau.
Ethekon also expressed concern over the involvement of cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries in campaign activities, saying IEBC investigators have been deployed to All-Kalau and that those found violating electoral laws will face appropriate action.
We have also been alerted of the presence of state officials in All-Kalau. Not a problem as long as they are doing their ordinary duties. But where they are there to interfere, that is also very unfortunate. The proper remedies shall apply, and up to, including disqualifying some of those candidates. These small incidences are precursor of what is likely to happen in 2027, and we cannot allow that.
Meanwhile, IEBC Commissioner Njeri reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to safeguarding the integrity of elections.
Is participatory
and all disputes have been resolved, and that every Kenyan feel to be part of the election because election is for the people. So our promise is to conduct elections in such a manner that is credible and that all disputes have been resolved. That includes the Ol Karau by-elections.
Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna has vowed to challenge the decision by the ORPP to remove him as Secretary General of the ODM. The registrar confirmed the change after determining that Sifuna's removal by the party complied with the Political Parties Act under ODM Constitution. The office has since updated the party's official records. Through his lawyer Isaac Okero, Sifuna argued that the registrar failed to follow the procedures outlined in the Political Parties Act, describing the decision as premature and indicating that he will seek legal redress. Meanwhile, ODM Acting Secretary General Catherine Omanyo has welcomed the registrar's decision. Speaking at the party headquarters in Nairobi, Omanyo said the ruling clears the way for the party to move forward after months of leadership wrangles.
At the end of the day, we've been patient enough. We've listened to both sides. We've given him enough time, but we cannot keep waiting for one individual to decide what they want. Sometimes it's not good to keep masquerading, to belong to one institution, yet you are beginning your own. It is his democratic right if he starts another party. We wish him well. I hope they form a formidable position, because we also don't want to be in government and have it easy. We want people to put us on toes to do things that we promised Kenyans. Our party, ODM, does not go tribal. We are a party that has everybody on board. If today we decided that we want a Turkana president as ODM presidential candidate to come from Turkana or Wajir, that's ODM. So if they are pushing for a Luhya presidential candidate, that is not ODM. Yeah.
And a panel of experts on compensation of victims of human rights violation during demonstrations has dismissed claims that the compensation program has stalled, saying payments to eligible beneficiaries are ongoing. In a statement, panel chairperson Professor Makao Mutua said applications are still being received and verified before compensation is approved, urging the public to ignore what he termed misinformation about the process. The panel said each claim undergoes verification and beneficiaries must provide consent before payments are made to prevent fraud and protect victims' privacy. It added that more claims are being submitted due to increased public confidence in the program and encourage eligible victims who have not applied to come forward. It also announced plans to periodically publish the names of beneficiaries subject to their consent and in line with data protection laws. And that's the news. I'm Sheila Tembor.
SpiceFM, Njeri.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Baba should disown these experts and say they went there on the, because he keep on telling us that these experts just you came from Dubai and you found them there already at State House looking for jobs.
Government has to has to introduce austerity measures. It's something that this government and the previous ones have not been able to do in this country. We've talked about it so many times.
And really, I think you have seen the modus operandi of William Samoei Ruto since he came in. It's just showbiz.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
One of the things that are ailing our country is negative ethnicity. You find you as a state officer, instead of thinking as a Kenyan, you think like a tribal person.
Let me tell you something. The biggest problem we have had in this country is a leadership deficit. There is nothing that you are going to do in the process of change if you are not a risk taker. So you really have to pursue your vision to a logical conclusion and even be ready to step on people's toes.
When it comes to the economy, you can run away with it. They say statistics are like bikinis. They reveal a lot, but they conceal the vitals. And so government people would throw statistics at you and tell you they're revealing a lot of information to you, but it's really concealing the real vitals.
We need to get out of that, because when we want to grow our democracy, one basic thing that really requires to be understood by the political class, by all of us, is institutions are critical.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
In this country, 6 families and 8,000 Kenyans control 90% of the GDP. We are not a country. We are a plantation. We work for Ruto.
When you're telling the judges court orders are papers or they will not obey court orders, they're sitting and you're seeking orders from them. So how are they supposed to interpret it? Isn't it an oxymoron?
When you see a judiciary that seems to be under some control somewhere, you start questioning. We have very powerful governors, but they don't use their offices to serve the people.
If you are not shameful to do what you are doing, why should we protect you?
I'm human. Everybody's human. So when you're told, kuja tuongee, I mean, you'd be a fool to say, stagi kuongea. Conversations have to be had, you know?
People in leadership should only go into leadership if they are ready and willing to change the lot of the people.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
All right, we're coming into it at 9 minutes after 7 o'clock this Friday, the 10th of July. This is the Situation Room, and we're getting into a conversation this hour. But before we do that,
yes.
Bomba.
Nani bomba letu ukwaji wetu. Ukwaji. And see, this is where every other time we talk about systems, we talk about how the country moves forward. But there is someone who ensures that that happens. Kenya Pipeline Company. Now, Kenya Pipeline PLC. Because now they're operating as a public limited company. And they are in charge of making sure that the economy moves. That, Kamanya, you're able to leave your house and come here. You know, that if you want to go to watch that game as French national team takes that gong, you're able to do that because they are the custodians of that important liquid called jet fuel. They're the ones who ensures that it is stored well, it is transported well, it is checked, and that even in terms of quality, is up there. So KPLC is saying, we are pushing the economy, we are maintaining the economy, we are able to make you move from point A to point B, and we are doing this from the port of Mombasa all the way to the Lake region and all the way to Uganda. So it is not just a Kenyan phenomena, it is also the lifeline and blood that keeps on pushing Uganda's economy. So KPLC does not just stop at that distribution and of fuel. It also has a foundation, and in this foundation it's taking bright kids to school to ensure that they realize their dreams, because some of the greatest amazing minds that we have today of engineers who are working on this state-of-the-art infrastructure, KPC is ensuring that they are able to achieve that. So later I shall be telling you how exactly they are doing that, but in the meantime, KPC bomba letu ukwaji wetu.
Yes.
Wetu.
You know what ukwaji is?
I know ukwaju.
No, ukuaji.
It's growth.
Growth.
Our growth.
Okay.
Bomba is like our reserve.
Our reserve.
Our growth. And I love what they say they're doing with the foundation. That's good. That's brilliant.
Proper.
Okay.
Olimma.
It's good. What?
Olimma is good.
Olimma.
Yes.
Olimma KPC.
There's a place called Olima.
Oh, really?
Got Kolima.
Oh, okay. So as we get into our conversation this morning, the Member of Parliament for Saboti constituency, Caleb Amisi, I have to tell you this morning that Caleb is amiss because
he's missing.
Is amissing.
Okay.
Caleb is amissing.
Oops.
Not here this morning. We should have had a conversation with him about certain things, but perhaps the renaissance isn't much needed this morning, but we'll look into issues otherwise.
Nevertheless.
Peekaboo. I see you. As that is going on, nevertheless, we shall look into the issues because it's a big one here that we're asking questions about. Because when we look into by-elections, and by-elections before the last 2 years used to happen. Sometimes you wouldn't even be aware that a by-election was taking place. Somebody by natural attrition, unfortunately, or resignation, or whatever the case may be.
We've never had a resignation in this country.
That's why I said whatever the case may be.
That's a taboo.
That's why I said whatever the case may be, in any circumstance for which a member of parliament or an elected official is unable to continue with their
vacate their seat.
Thank you very much. A by-election, according to the constitution, then is a necessity.
Yes.
And IEBC now must gather up itself and then perform this, even if it is, I think there is a threshold.
90 days.
90 days. Within 90 days. But then to the next general election, there is also a threshold. But if it's 3 months to the next election or something like that, then there's no need for a by-election.
Yes.
Something to that effect. I need to look at it before
you can go
unrepresented. You can go unrepresented for 6 months.
I think.
There you go. But in this case, there's enough time. Last year, it's the first time, and maybe forever, that we saw by-elections. The circus was crazy.
I think the advent to 2022 elections is when we started seeing so much interest in by-elections because everybody wanted to prove a point.
Because there was the Matungu election, the by-election, there was another
Kiago
one.
In Meru,
in
Kiamba,
absolutely.
In Juja.
But then we saw it really ramp up temperature in Malaba, Magarini, Mbere North, and Embakasi South. So we saw all of this. Kariobangi South, I beg your pardon. Right. So all of this now went crazy. Now, this year, did you know, by the way, that there was a by-election that happened a couple of weeks ago? And it just passed, exactly. And it just passed like nobody said, because
they didn't get gas?
No, they didn't get
mattress?
water. No mattress.
Speedboat?
No speedboat.
Maybe that's why we missed it.
It's perhaps it's true.
Yeah.
But this one for Olkalau, in case you are wondering, people who didn't even know where Olkalau is is in Nyandarua County. All right? It is a constituency in Nyandarua. That is why we see the likes of Senator John Medhu dancing like an auntie with the
green
party garb.
Yeah.
And
it's actually a singer.
He's a singer, bwana. Simon Waweru Kamau. Yeah. So that's the song. I promise. You thought it was other lyrics. I promise. That's the song.
Like for real.
For real.
Wow.
You thought it was something. It's nothing. It's nothing major. It's just a man's name that's made it too. And beyond that, water pipes descended on Olkalau. Gas in trucks descended in Olkalau. We also saw mattresses. Everywhere was blue, and it was not the French team. See what I did there? We also saw that there was Angoa. There was what again? Transformer.
And electric poles.
It migrated from Embu to Nyandarua.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
Train.
Boats.
Boats, even speedboats. Fishermen.
Fishing.
Yes. The economy is going to be revived.
But do they have chillers for the fish?
Oh, Mendambali sana.
Eat them fresh.
Yeah. Ask the people of Olkalau how long they've been eating fish. But it's okay.
Yeah.
For the purposes of this by-election, we shall fish.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Now, all of these things have happened in rapid succession. Moses Kuria said, yes, pipes. People have been carrying gas on their heads. Some people opened their mouths and said, we wish that such a thing can happen. Somebody who normally makes 300 shillings a day now is clocking 2,500 bob every day.
By merely being a voter, being alive.
Yeah. Why do you have to go outside and work? Why? For what reason? I just have to show up. I wake up like, you know what it reminds me of? The meerkats in the Kalahari Desert. They're normally underground. Then suddenly when there's action.
They're here. Who that?
What's up? What's going on? That's how the people of Olkalau are today. Who is come tomorrow? Wapi. What's happening? That's how Olkalau has been, and how it's likely to be getting into the weekend up until Monday, which is when now IEBC says, come on, okay, everybody.
That's enough. That's enough.
Now let's vote.
Yes.
It's been interesting to watch. But the deeper question here is this empowerment? Because, by the way, also today, Nyota Fund is being dispersed.
Yes,
okay?
phase 2. Yes.
Phase 2 of Nyota Fund is being given out, which is our government program. If there's an opportunity to give people money to do something, I think you should go ahead and do it. I don't have a problem with it. But the question that we're asking this hour is what we are seeing in Olkalau bribery?
No, I don't think it's bribery. This is development. This is empowerment. This is the government serving its people at their hour of need and trying to, it is not, it's called, there's a phrase the IBC uses called the improper influence. They're saying this is not improper influence. It is just coincidentally that when the government had planned to empower the people of Nyandarua, it so happens that the MP passed on. So it so happens there's a by-election happening. People are in the campaign season, but the government had its own agenda and program to empower people. And that is why they are there dishing out, and that's actually the government officials who are doing it.
Yes,
from the side of the government's party, the ruling party. So it is not bribery. It is not campaign. It is empowerment.
Let me tell you.
Please do.
The nonsense that is going out here is appalling. You know why? Let me just read let me quote someone who was here and what they said.
All right.
On Tuesday, Nakuru Town East MP David Gikaria, a pro-government legislator, openly acknowledged the cash giveaways while defending the collection of recipients' national identity cards details. Yes. He insisted the exercise was purely for accountability and had nothing to do with the July 16th parliamentary by-election.
Accountability of what? Okay, sorry. I'm very sorry. Please continue reading.
Sasa, Nduh Okoh.
Yes.
Taka 2,500. Sheka. Nipatie ID yako nichukue details. What am I looking at? Your ID, perhaps where it is you're from and all those details. I need to know if you are a voter here.
So that you don't come back.
So that you don't come back. It is important. And this is what he said. Nyinyi vijana, labda hamjawahi piga kura lakini nani alipiga kura 2022? Kuna kitambulisho ilikuwa inaitishwa, kama ID haitishwi unatumia kidole. Hatutaitishwa ID na hata hatutaitishwa kadi ya kura, Gikaria said. Now, he explained that identity card details were being recorded to verify that funds allocated to specific areas had reached the intended beneficiaries. Now, he said, mimi nilipewa 250,000 jana na pia leo nimepewa 250,000. Wenye wananitisha wanataka kujua, je, uliongea na wapiga kura wa Githima na Nyakiangi? So alipewa $500,000 to distribute to the people, and he needed those details of IDs from the people, the recipients of these, to go back to those who sent him, to those who gave him the $500,000 bob. Kusema,
did he say who gave him the money?
Na wapiga kura. Yendi amesema, it is not me.
So he needed to verify.
To verify that he spoke to the constituents, the voters of the constituency.
Sorry, please excuse me. I may be a bit slow this morning. Maybe I'm not quite understanding. You understand, eh?
You're a bit amiss.
I'm a bit amiss like Caleb.
Yes.
Anyway, this man, MP, Wapi? Gakaria is MP or
Nakuru
Town East. Gakaria, all right. Gikaria.
Yes.
He said that somebody gave him 250,000.
Yes. Jana. Na pia leo nimepewa ingine 250.
Oh, so now the total is 500,000.
Yes.
All right. He's taking this money to go and give people, or how?
Yeah.
To go and give them. He takes this money, goes to give them, and when he's there, he says, here is the money, give me your ID. He said it with his own mouth.
Yes. To verify
that they exist.
So that
then when he finishes taking the information, he gives them back the ID, and then he leaves them with the money.
Yes.
So what's the money for, according to him?
According to him, it is just to ensure that the people wamesotiwa.
Empowerment.
It's just empowerment.
Okay.
Tumekuja kuwajenga.
Okay.
Watu wanapata between 1,000 shillings and 3,000.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, and 3,000.
So, when he comes back to the person who gave him the money,
he comes back with 800,000 to the people.
Wait a minute. Confused.
Yes.
So when he comes back to the sender of the money, and he says, I have done what you have asked me to do. I've met the people. So he didn't say anything to them when he went. He just said, show me what your ID says. I collect it, then I give you money, I come back. Okay. So the people who are left, or he didn't ask, what's wrong with him, this David? Because why would he come out and say that he was giving money to go and give people, but it was just for
It's just a good
verification?
message. Yeah, he's from Nakuru East. He goes to the next
It's
county.
just next county,
Nyandara County. They don't have an MP. So maybe he's just doing his...
it's just meeting the people tour. But see, basically, the reason why he was talking like this is because there are the others who had come for this money, but it wasn't enough.
Okay.
So he was explaining as to why the money he has, what he's done with it, and how he will go back and even bring some more. Just so wale ambao hawakupata pia tutawapatia tuchukue pia ID zao. So as we speak, he went back and took 800,000 extra
from the sender of the money,
from
bank.
the kitty, from the kitty to come back. So you see, the ID, according to me, the ID is, you see, when an auditor comes and looks at the books,
Yes.
it must balance.
Right.
So the ID is what balances the funds.
So the report
Especially
is not a qualified report.
Yes. So
he's being accountable.
You can say
integrity.
It was voter verification.
Voter verification.
Or something like that.
Yes.
No, residence verification.
That they are actually residents of Ol Kalou, that they're constituent members of Ol Kalou.
Correct.
Okay. So it's not bribery.
It's not.
Okay.
Can
So
never
this
be.
could explain why the IEBC is, reluctant to, assert itself over this particular matter. Because it's not bribery, really. It's just not. It's voter verification. It's not a problem, really. Okay, this makes a little bit of sense. Now, for others who may not be drunk on libations of the bean this morning, bean coffee, is this bribery, or are we again looking at a situation where people really in their minds they feel, we've been wanting as a government to come to Ol Kalou, leave alone the fact that
for the past 4 years,
leave alone the fact that you have a governor, leave alone the fact that you have a senator
who can sing,
a singing senator, leave alone the fact that you have, I don't know how many constituencies in your county. You have MCAs who make up a county assembly. You have a woman rep. You have members of parliament, even if this Ol Kalou doesn't have. But you have seen a week to a by-election where it is maybe important for your particular side to win this election. You've decided that the fundamental needs of the people, then we shall provide them. So we have to ask, number one, where's the money from? Number two, was it budgeted for? Number three,
who approved it?
Number
four,
go
to parliament.
Number five,
is it control of budget approved?
Number six, are you stark raving mad? Because what? Why would this happen now and not any other time? So it's not just Ol Kalou, but the people of Kenya have to ask the question and say, really, then it's possible. It's possible for the things that you need, the things that you require in terms of the securitization of your livelihoods, which is securitization. Play not with me this morning. Today is that they were bringing out the big guns. Of your livelihoods that is constitutionally guaranteed. That would never happen if you are not falling on the right political lines. And if we don't see that, then there's a problem. Do you think that the people of Ol Kalou can understand exactly what's going on here? I mean, never seen these people before. You've heard of them, you've seen them on TV, you've heard them on the radio, but then suddenly they're descending on your town like white on rice. And you have to ask, what's going on here? Do you think that they resonate with exactly what's going on now?
Well, as you say, it is what we call a confused element. Because you realize we've set a culture that whenever by-elections are happening, especially towards the build-up of a general election, there is always now the war between the big boys. This is not about the people of Ol Kalou. Like it was never about the people of Better North. Like in 2021, it was never about the people of Kiambaa or Juja, or Meru, Kiago Ward, and any other by-election we had in 2021, the bill up 2022. It was about the big boys fighting. That time it was the Jubilee and the UDA. So the outgoing president then, Uhuru Kenyatta, and his party, they did not want to lose. So they went way out of their way, violating all these IBC regulations on campaign to try and woo the people, to show that they were still in power. So that came and went. Today, the outgoing president, William Ruto, and his party, UDA party, they would hate to lose any position, any by-election, because it may be the onset of their own attrition towards 2027. And that's why you see them they come out guns blazing, and voter bribery. And this is bribery. This is improper influence. Well, if you don't want to call it bribery, it's okay. But there is a campaign mode, and you see civil servants who by law are not supposed to participate in political party campaigns. They're the ones who are dishing out. That's a member of parliament, somebody who sits in the legislative house. They know, or they should know, if they don't, what the law says about campaign. Let alone that. We've seen a whole speaker of the National Assembly and the Senate too, equally campaigning, not only in the by-election, but also for the president, for the calling for his 2-term. So I think these people know. But the leaders know, the political honchos know what they're doing. It's a power struggle. But the people of Olkalau do not know.
Can I add something just before you? It also came to our attention yesterday that it was the senator for Kiambu Senator. Thangwa.
Yes.
Said that 15,000 Olkalau residents have been invited to State House tomorrow, Saturday, for lunch.
Right.
Okay. For lunch? Or dinner? Which one do you want? Breakfast? Okay, the
State
day.
House Nairobi or Nakuru?
Your State House.
Yes,
okay.
I'm hoping I would not be surprised.
So Thangwa was warning them and just saying, guys, but just remember why it is that you're being invited. So add that to your assertions, sir.
Now, first of all, residents of this constituency called Nakuru East, when last did you see your MP? When is the last time he represented you on the floor of the House? When's the last time he sat down on a private member's bill to push for development to come to your constituency? Now that he is going to push development in neighboring county, in neighboring constituency, to make sure that they work. Perhaps maybe it's because one would say the residents are orphaned because their member of parliament left. So you have to take care. Angalia jirani vizuri. But that notwithstanding, what we're seeing today, this thing that IEBC refuses to call bribery, you know what it is? This thing is housed, it's a computer on wheels. It has 4 wheels. When you ignite it, it does chong, and when you press on the pedal, it does vroom. When you hit on that thing, it does popo or titi, and you're asked, what is this?
It's a giraffe.
Even outside, it's been rated lowercase c, uppercase a, lowercase r, and you're told, what is this?
It's a giraffe.
It's a giraffe. It's a giraffe. That's exactly what these people think. We see every day that this thing is a giraffe and not a vehicle. This thing is called empowerment and it is not bribery. Because we ask the question, people of Olkalau have had even a member of parliament since 2022 when the government was formed. Why did we not see all these things happen? It is not like that dam just fell out of heaven. God decided, hey, have the dam. And all of a sudden, there are boats that we need and even fishing to be pushed for the people of Kalau as an economic empowerment venture. Bwana Wajinga walisha, and that is not me who said it, it's the president who said that.
Pumzika kidogo.
Breathe out.
Breathe.
In or out?
Out,
Okay.
Gani inakusaidia. Take a breath. Let's take a break. Then we come back and ask some questions here, because that it's being done so openly. You know what it means? Because everybody knows that you can talk, you can make noise, there's nothing you're going to do. And if by whatever happens, the people who are dishing out then win the election, then they'll tell you, see, because the people believe that we are here for them. Okay.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Traffic.
All right, not much of a change. We still have a little bit of traffic. Well, actually, it's a lot more than it was before. Coming off of the Thika Superhighway that's coming in all the way from Kasarani. That bend will take you through towards the Outer Ring Junction. And then towards the Pangani Underpass, and there's some traffic there, so we'll have to deal with that. Coming off of Limuru Road this morning through United Nations Avenue out towards the Greater Limuru Road, so that's busy as well. James Gishuru has some traffic as you get towards the Red Hill Link Road, but not too sticky right now. And there's some traffic on Jogo Road. It's coming in from that Manyanja Road junction out towards Landis and then on towards Haile Selassie. So that's one to watch for this morning. It's busy. Wow, very busy. On North Airport Road this morning, coming in from Cabanas, in and outbound traffic is doing the thing this morning. All right, we're into traffic hour just at the beginning of it. Let's see what happens as we get through it. SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag The Situation Room.
Every day behind the scenes, Kenya Pipeline Company PLC keeps Kenya moving. Now operating as a publicly listed company, KPC PLC is built to support national development and energy security. From the port of Mombasa to East Africa, KPC PLC powers transport, storage and distribution of all petroleum products. And through KPC Foundation, it continues to uplift communities across Kenya. KPC PLC, now a publicly listed company, fueling progress for Kenya.
The heat with endless entertainment on Star Times. Feel every moment of the action as the biggest leagues reach their thrilling finales. Recharge your monthly subscription to unlock a world of endless drama to enjoy Novella E, now available on your Nyota bouquet. Dive into blockbuster movies with the launch of TNT, your new home of big screen hits. And for the little ones, a world of non-stop fun on Cartoon Network, now on Star Times. News, sports, drama, movies, kids, and reality all in one place. All for you. To renew your subscription, dial *858# for self-service or get in touch with our call center on 0719 077 077 for customer care. Buy a StarTimes decoder at any of our deal shops countrywide. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Our conversations continue this morning. It is 25 minutes to 8 o'clock. You know what? Mm-hmm. That don't call it bribery, though. Call it spontaneous affection.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, you know how I can see you're walking down the street and I remember, Aseto, it's you, Kumbe. Then I start, I didn't think about you before, but then I can see in that instance, there's something that you could do for me. And so now maybe I would then, oh God.
Yes, that's
the whole thought that it's being done in broad daylight, not under the cover of darkness, that, you know what, I keep saying, if somebody tells you something with their mouth, believe them.
Yes.
Believe what it is that they are saying to you. The likelihood of them to say something differently is different. The people of Mbere North were very happy when they received those electric poles to that there was something was going to be lit up, literally.
Yes.
It is that same equipment that has been brought to All Kalau, as Dennis was saying.
The transformers.
The
electric poles.
So what happens to them where you were bringing developments in Mbere North earlier and that you decided to uproot all of that and then bring it for it to descend upon All Kalau?
Affection faded
Spontaneous
away.
affection.
Yeah, it was spontaneous, you see. So it faded away. Now it has migrated. You see, like the wildebeest. It has migrated.
Yeah, it's nice in Masai Mara to go back to Serengeti later.
So, but we may laugh about it, but this is very serious.
It's very serious.
It's just sad.
We laugh about it because you will burst a vein if you.
True.
You have to find a way to diffuse some of these things.
Yeah. I wonder what Kenyans think about it.
Can I show you what has happened?
Please.
Look at Nduh. See this?
It's like magic.
What do I have in my hand?
Don't know.
Can you see? That's exactly what is happening.
Yeah.
That's exactly what is happening. Now you see it, now you don't. Literally.
Yes.
Now you
Also,
see it, now you don't.
There are also some other low-key players who are doing the same thing. Just that they're not able to do enough. Now they are complaining that their competitors are doing too much.
Too much, yeah.
Because both sides of the divide are equally, improperly trying to influence the voter.
Handling this process. Yeah.
And it begs for the question, like, now, do people realize the power of the vote? If your vote was not this powerful, the government and other parties would not be camping in your region today because of having a by-election.
Yes.
So you need to wake up as a Kenyan and realize this is the power of my vote. This is how powerful my vote is. It is attracting millions. It is even being estimated almost a billion.
There is what
has
Moses
been poured
said
by the government into the Olkalau constituency. And remember, we have 10 candidates, so there are also 9 other players in this. But you need to understand that your vote is that powerful. It is attracting the attention of the entire nation, of the government. So please, be mindful of where you cast that vote. Because if it did not matter, they would not be bothered to come to you. Today, the people of Mbere North have no one camping. Remember, we had people even walking into the kitchens and taking tea.
Yeah. And taking
with the locals and chapatis and harvesting, helping people to harvest jaba, but now no one is there. I even wonder when was the last time the people of Mbere North saw their MP? The new one doing a meeting or something, engaging with the people. So you need to realize that this is not about you. This is about them. And we need to invert this formula and make election about us. We have exactly 1 year, 1 month, today being the 10th of July.
You see,
to start that process.
We need to realize that as a people, we have the power. That today people are coming literally begging you to give so that you give them that vote. A single vote is all they're looking for. And if we as a people do not see that for what it is, because today people of Olkalau are getting massive development that they needed not today but 4 years ago, because that was the development agenda that was sold to the people of Mbere. Now, when you talk about gas, people of Olkalau have been cooking for the 4 years. They have been cooking for 4 years. One asks the question, how is it that today is when you realize that they need affordable gas? Yet the promise that was given to Kenyans as we were campaigning is that we will reduce taxes so that you're able to afford this thing. It is not us who said it. It was their agenda. That today we are seeing implementation of those electoral promises back in 2022 being achieved today. That means each and every region, constituency, county, and the entire republic can get all these things if only there is political goodwill and if they care and if they are afraid of our power. But the moment you surrender it, because there is 1,000 bob, there is 3,000 that is being given here, your ID is being taken just to ascertain that you're able to vote in, and you forget the power you have. I shudder to say we are the problem.
Do you think that we realize as individuals, as parts of this moving vehicle, who cast their vote, for whom the sovereign power rests, for whom your sovereignty is what essentially is being traded? It's like the biblical birthright that Esau sold to Jacob for a pot of stew, a bowl of stew. Do we realize the importance of it? And so when we talk about you must exercise your worth, you have to start from a place where you know your worth. If you do not know it, then it's very easy for you to give it away. And so we must come from that place where you realize that what do we call energy? It's atoms that reduce the space between them. Energy is now taken and it moves to do something. But you reduce the space, so that's when we say come together. Reduce the space between us for you to become a powerful force to move a certain thing. Do you make the connection between the 1,000 shillings, between the cylinder of gas, between the mattress or whatever it is that has been given to you, and the power that you wield to then say this is a decision that we've made for tomorrow, for the future, for us, for today? If we are not making the connection, well, then they might as well continue doing whatever it is that they're doing. People dance, they get the 2,500 shillings. Come 17th of July, We carry on like nothing happened. And that's how serious we have to take it. 1 billion shillings, folks, is not a joke. And if you look at 1 billion shillings and what it could do in this country on a day when other things are suffering, take your pick, name them, name it.
I can tell you what it can
happen.
do. Kiambu County is allocating 1 billion shillings to put up a new cancer facility. That is what 1 billion can do.
Yeah.
And as you rightly put it, we are the problem because we don't see, we are not making the connect between the vote and these resources and the opportunities this vote opens for us as a people, if only we vote wisely. Because these resources, remember, it is our money, it is our tax.
Thank you.
It is our money.
Yeah.
It's not a favor that somebody is doing us because, you are political orphans, you don't have an MP, we're going to dish out goodies to you. No, it is our tax being used. Embezzled or otherwise, it is our money.
Indeed.
But it must be well utilized in a manner that is highly dependent on them. Because the vote you cast is not only a commitment to the promissory note that you are promised by the campaigners, but it's also, you're staking it.
Indeed.
You're signing it.
Yeah.
You're signing it in. I want to take a couple calls. A couple calls from you guys this morning. 0732142653, 0732142650. Is it empowerment or is it bribery? Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. How are you?
Morning, Spice family.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Josphat.
Your brother is here with us.
I've seen him. I'm calling you from Narok.
Talk to us.
Today, I am not commenting on the two factions.
Okay.
I want to preach to those people who are receiving bribes and those who are taking bribes. The Bible strictly condemns bribery and frequently warns that it corrupts the heart, perverts justice, and blinds even the wisest individuals. Exodus 23 verse 8. Do not accept a bribe, for a bribe blinds those who see and twists the words of the innocent. Proverbs chapter 17 verse 23. The wicked accept bribes in secret to pervert a cause of justice. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 7. Extortion turns a wise person into a fool. The cause of justice. Deuteronomy 16 verse 19. You must not distort justice. You must not show partiality. And you must not accept bribes, for a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise. Now, naangalia hii nataka niseme hivi kindly. Wakati watu wanakubali hongo, the Bible has called them fools. So if it is your father and you are listening to me, nataka leo ujue kwamba baba yako is a fool. And those who are giving, they are fools. I listened to the prayer by Bishop Oginde in State House. That prayer was very powerful. And Kenya will reap hii maneno wanaendelea kufanya. Because the bishop prayed very well wakati rais alikuwa na sent a given bill. Another prayer, another proclamation yenye wakati Raila alikuwa sijui ni Nyayo Stadium ama ni Kasarani. Those individuals prayed and they said corruption must stop. But the leaders, what they are doing, imagine, now they say, watoto wamechoma mashule. If they see what is happening, our fathers are doing, our leaders are doing terrible things. Halafu tunasema kwamba kizazi chetu watoto waelewi, watoto wanachoma mashule, watoto wanafanya hivi. If the morals of our leaders are rotten, what do you expect? Which generation are they now raising up? Mtoto wake anaona vizuri, huyu ni baba yangu na anaongea uongo mbele ya kamera, mbele ya ulimwengu wote. I'm saying this na nimesoma these verses. They will allow people wanaochukua hongo. The Bible condemns that. And also whoever ambaye ataendelea na hiyo tabia, I know one time God God will do it here in Kenya to be an example to the whole world. Otherwise, wacha niachie wengine waongezee. Thank you so much.
Asante sana, Josphat.
Amin.
Kabisa. I mean, he's very clear about the position where he says, if you take it, just coming from the moral place, that you're actually a fool if you take it. That we should not even, he's not even talking about the two factions. Whatever. And it's interesting that you brought up also, Josphat, that there are 10 candidates in this by-election. So it's not just one that is being spoken about here. But that if you take it, I would wonder what would happen. I thought about what he's saying. And I wonder what would happen if somebody actually says, nope, not today.
Not today.
I'm not taking this today. We have a number of calls, guys. Let's take them.
Let's go.
And hear what people have to say. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing? Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Victor, Lucky Victor.
Yes.
I'm calling you from Nairobi here.
Okay, what are your thoughts? Is this bribery or is it empowerment that we're seeing? And is it okay?
On my end, huh?
Okay, what are your thoughts? Can you turn down the volume on your radio, please?
Okay. On my end, I believe it's empowerment,
Okay.
And it's not bribery.
Okay.
Why am I saying so? It's because, if it's bribery, it comes on a perspective way of where, me, I'm talking on my end as a youth, yeah? And I believe I'm a citizen. I have thoughts to say what I believe it's right as a citizen. You see, on my end, I believe it's empowerment. It's not bribery. Why am I saying so? It's because you see some of those people who are going there and they're receiving those things. Why are they receiving? You find some people, most of them are young, and they're going there because they don't have money. They are not employed. Most of them, of which you find 80%, actually 90%, they are poor. Let's be realistic. You see, so these people, and they find that privilege to get these things. You find, which they have never gotten that chance to have those things. So for me, and they take that as empowerment. You cannot come and tell them it's bribery. You cannot tell them not take this. Yeah, somebody, even for me, I'll take it. Why am I taking it? Because I believe, somebody has come with something which is good. But when it comes to voting, that's where you'll decide. You'll say, yes, now, as a citizen, I know who a good leader is, who a bad leader is. You see.
Do you think that this would have been the case if there was no by-election in Olkalau?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
They would have come to Olkalau with all these things with no by-election.
Yes. Why am I saying so? Because, yes, by then, as we are progressing politically, you see, things are changing. Okay, you cannot say that you'll remain just an MCA, just always being like, for instance, there'll be this MCA who will be always like this forever, another MCA who will come like this to be like this forever, another MP who will come like this to be like this forever. No, things are progressing differently. It can be positive, it can be negative, you see. So let's take, if it's an opportunity for that guy who doesn't have that, let that person take it. I cannot say it's bribery for him. Let him take it. But when it comes to the vote, for you as a citizen, you know who a good leader is. You believe there's this good leader. Do what is right for you. And also as a good leader, as a good citizen, that time when you're getting bribery, why can't you also use as citizens?
Oh, you've called it bribery now. You said that time when you're getting the bribe. It's different.
I'm speaking this. I'm saying bribery because it's on a perspective way of, because there are these rich politicians who are aspiring. Those are the ones who are coming with such ideas of how they can.
Is there anything like negative progress? Progress is
called regression.
Yeah. So if then you're talking about regression as progress, then where is progress in what you're seeing in Olkalau?
those people are getting goodies that they would not have been getting.
Okay, John, thank you very much for your call this morning. Let's hear from some others this morning. We'd love to hear what they have to say. Asante Sana for your thoughts. All welcomed as well. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing? Please tell us your name and where you're calling in from.
Yes, my name is Leonard from, I'm calling from Roysambu, Nairobi.
Okay, please go ahead. What are your thoughts? Is this bribery or is it empowerment? Should people carry on?
This is bribery. I'm even surprised and shocked about the caller who was just called. He's saying that he's a youth. I know that it's a democracy and everyone has his own opinion, but I'm shocked to hear him say that even if there was no by-election, those things, the people of Olkalau will still receive what they are receiving. Because if that was the case, then why are they not here in Roysambu? I say here in Roysambu, I've never seen them here. Why are they not here if whatever they're doing is empowerment? Whatever they're doing is because there's a by-election and they want to win. That's why you're seeing the government is using more than 1 billion to go and do whatever they're doing there. Like, make it make sense. How can you remove transformers from Mbere North and the same transformers, you take them to Olkalau and you call that empowerment? The people in Mbere North, they're in darkness right now.
True.
Why? Because the transformers that they wanted, that they were given, is it like 6 months ago? Less than 6 months ago, they've already been uprooted. I saw the gases were taken there. Why have they not brought the gases here in Roysambu? Why have they not taken those gases in Turkana? That is bribery, and I'm even surprised by what the IBC chair did yesterday, because the constitution is very clear. If there's voter bribery, there must be fines, or the ones who are doing that, the election should be called off, or they should be removed from campaigning.
Indeed, Leonard. Yep, the points that you raise are valid, and just being able to broaden and lengthen that conversation to saying, well, if that was the case, why are they not in Roysambu this morning? Why are they not in Turkana? Why are they not in Lamu? Why are they not in places whereby we have seen abject poverty and that the people actually need to be empowered? If that is the case, why are these people not being uplifted? I hear you, Leonard.
Yes.
Let's hear from some others this morning. Thank you for your call. Keep listening, Tafadhali. Okay, let's hear from some others this morning because clear. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling in from.
My name is Njeri and I'm calling from Mongata, Rongai.
Yes.
Yes, Njeri. Tell us what your thoughts are.
My thoughts are this. This is bribery of the highest order. And those who are saying that it is empowerment are fools. True empowerment changes lives. So create an environment where I can do business or I can get a job, then I will be able to afford to buy for myself a mattress and gas. So this is bribery. I don't even know why we are discussing it. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Asante Sana. Good day to you too, Njeri. Thank you for your call. Clear as day. Let's hear from some others this morning as we get to the top of the hour. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Nduh. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Please tell us your name and where you're calling in from.
My name is Collins from Soy.
Yes, Collins from Soy.
Good
morning.
And Joe.
This issue of the issue of voter bribery. I just want to highly commend on the matter that the young fellow has said the voters should collect those items being brought to them by the politicians. I can listen to him, and I think he's a fairly young person. And it is very absurd and very sad. Although, as the next caller said, everybody has the democratic right to whatever they want to say. But even the mattresses that were being given there, our hospitals do not have mattresses. Our mothers, our new mothers with their newborns are sharing beds, and our government is not providing these mattresses. Government of Kenya mattresses to go to these hospitals. Surely, why should anyone distribute items written Government of Kenya? These things are not for enticing people. They are for giving service to people in hospitals, in our elderly homes where they need these mattresses in these homes, surely. So when we hear young people surely saying it is correct to collect this and go to the vote and speak your mind, once you collect them, you're not speaking your mind. Once you collect those items, already your mind is corrupted. Your mind is bribed. So you won't make a decision come the voting time. Your correct decision the voting time. Otherwise, that is my point. I would like to leave it at that.
Definitely good points, and thank you for sharing, Collins. Asante sana for calling in this morning. We take some more calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning.
Hello, good morning. Please speak up a little bit, sir.
Majina naitwa Gibson Kilonzo.
Yes, Gibson, unapiga kutoka wapi?
Hapa Machakos, hata Plateau.
Plateau. Haya, tuambie.
Saa hii inafanyika na president ni kuonga wapiga kura. Swali moja ile nauliza, Machakos iko hapo, mbona hakuna mtu ati hiyo nyota pande hakuna huko aipeleke huko? Kitu ya pili,
endelea.
Ukiangalia huko Kalao, watu wanapelekewa mangasi nini? Kwa nini hawakupeleka ile wakati hakukuwa na hizo by election? Unajua msemo mmoja alisema ngoronji karanga na mafuta yake. After election, hii by election, hao watu waangalia kama kuna hao wanasiasa mtu atakuja huko, watakuwa wamemalizana na wao. Ile kitu wanaweza ambia wa Kenya waachane na ujinga. Hiyo ufumbavu tuko nayo. Unajua Mwalimu Julius Nyerere alisema mtu uzalewa na ujinga na ufumbavu, na akienda kwa ndalaza huwa anatolewa ufumbavu, ujinga yanabaki ufumbavu. Kwa hivyo ile Kenya tuko nayo, kuna watu wako na ujinga sana, walizibaki na ujinga. Kwa hivyo wa Kenya tuachane na ufumbavu na kufumbazwa macho. Hiyo ndio naweza comment.
Asante sana, bro. Asante sana for your call this morning. It's clear that people have a lot to say. This is what we're going to do, folks. Let's take a break. Let's go to the top and let's listen to the news. Let's hear what's in the news. Sheila Tembur coming in a few minutes. We're going to come back and continue taking your calls. It would be good to hear what you have to say about this. We'll do that and in a short while. Good morning, 8 a.m.
This is the Spice up your life. The latest news from around the world. 94.4 Spice FM.
Good morning. This is the news. I'm Sheila Tembur. The World Bank has urged the government to implement anti-corruption reforms linked to its $750 million lending package, warning that weak controls and poor procurement practices are diverting funds from essential public services. The loan was approved on 29th June after delays in 2025 over concerns about the government's commitment to implementing the reforms. World Bank Kenya Director Chimeo Fan said the measures include conflict of interest rules for public officials, a transparent electronic procurement system, a single treasury account, and the passage of a long-delayed whistleblower protection bill. Fan said the reforms are crucial to restoring public trust following the 2024 protest over tax and calls for greater accountability in the management of public funds. This comes as the latest World Bank report shows Kenya's economic grew by 4.6% but continues to face challenges including high debt, limited formal employment opportunities, and rising food and fuel prices that could push an additional 1 million people into poverty. Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu has cautioned the IEBC against bias and lack of professionalism ahead of the 2027 general election, saying the credibility of the polls depends on the electoral body conduct. Speaking during the launch of the 2022 IEBC pre-election dispute resolution committee report in Nairobi, Mwilu called for fairness and accountability among institutions involved in the electoral process. She urged the IEBC to improve the handling of election disputes, having received 323 cases following the 2022 general election.
Doing the right thing is the greatest asset every public servant to every public institutions. My hope is you will lead the team in a manner not previously led. The integrity of an electoral justice system lies in whether disputes are resolved fairly, promptly, and credibly throughout the electoral cycle.
Stakeholders at the event said coordination among electoral institutions will be critical in ensuring a peaceful and credible election. LSK President Charles Kanjama and DPP Renson Igonga said they have put in place measures to address election offences and hold violators accountable.
The level of trust in elections will be much lower if the judiciary does not play its role.
The Election Offences Act further gives the DPP power to order investigations and prosecute election offences.
The judiciary pledged to remain impartial in resolving disputes arising from the 2027 polls, while IEBC chairperson Erastus Ethekon warned against political violence, saying early incidents could threaten the credibility of the election process.
We need to restore sanity in our electoral processes as we move towards 2027.
And Senate Health Committee Chairperson Jackson Mandago says the Senate will summon governors to explain allegations of misuse of public funds. Speaking in Trans Nzoia County, Mandago said county leaders must be held accountable for public resources, adding that the Senate will continue to ensure transparency in the management of funds. He warned that no leader is above the law and that those found guilty of financial misconduct will face appropriate action.
Na mnajua kwa historia ya Kenya kuna deputy president mmoja ametumwa nyumbani. Kwa hivyo Senate inafanya kazi, inafanya ama ifanye. Kwa hivyo huyu Senate akiuliza maswali kwa governor, watu wa county wawache fujo, wawache matusi, wajibu. Ya tano, mahali governor anaenda kujibu maswali, na mimi nasema kama governor nilimtumu Nduh, ni kule kwenye bunge la seneti. Senata huyu anaweza sema uitwe. Mimi kama chairman ya kamati ya afya niko na ruhusa kikatiba kuita gavana yoyote Kenya hii haje kwenye kamati yangu aeleze matumizi na mambo ya afya.
Mandago also said the government has set aside resources to support mothers giving birth in public and private health facilities.
Normal delivery, serikali ya Kenya inalipa 10,000 per delivery. Na kama kwa bahati mbaya mama amejisumbua na lazima afanyie upasuaji, ile tunaita cesarean section, serikali inalipa gharama ya 30,000. Na niweke ilani hapo, niseme wale wanafanya kwa hospitali zetu, msiende kufanyia kina mama wanajifungua upasuaji kwa sababu mnatafuta pesa. Kama mama anaweza zaa normal delivery, watana na mama azae normal delivery. Ama namna gani?
And that's the news. I'm Sheila Tembor.
.5 Spice FM, Kisumu.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
Residency is fairly interesting in the sense that it will actually take us to a new consciousness.
Swali zile watu waulizi na swali muuliza na shangala ni aje kwani huku kunaendaje?
30 billion shillings annually on travel alone in public service.
A Kenyan can even demonstrate every single day of his life that Ruto must go. That is the only message of his demonstration. That is his right.
That bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and subverts the cause of those who are in the right.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
Baba should disown these experts and say they went there on the, because he keep on telling us that these experts just you came from Dubai and you found them there already at State House looking for jobs.
government has to has to introduce austerity measures. It's something that this government and the previous ones have not been able to do in this country. We've talked about it so many times.
And really, I think you have seen the modus operandi of William Samoei Ruto since he came in. It's just showbiz.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
We continue our conversations this morning. It is 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. And yes, guys, I can see them all coming in. We get an opportunity to call in and for you to lend your voice to this conversation. But just before that, we need to bomb a little bit.
Yes, because, we often talk about driving regional integration. We talk about the East Africa community, but how are we building it? Kenya Pipeline Company, now KPC, PLC, is telling you that we are doing this by ensuring that you're able to store, we are able to transport, distribute it from the port of Mombasa all the way to the port lakeside city of Kisumu and all the way to Uganda. What that means is that the economy continues to grow, that each and every single person is able to move from point A to point B. Talk about moving presidents because they use that important liquid. That important liquid. So KPC is letting us know that they are handling over 1,700 kilometers of pipe, a pipe that transports all these liquid, as well as ensuring that it is being handled, managed technologically, because we have some of the most amazing engineers who are making sure that this job is happening. So it is engineers, automated systems that ensure petroleum products are moved safely, efficiently, and reliably, so that when you wake up in the morning, you're able to fuel, you're able to move, economy is able to grow. Yes, so to find more about KPC, you go to www.kpc.co.ke, because Kenya Pipeline PLC, bomba letu, ukwaji wetu, where ukwaji is growth.
Kabisa. And those are the things that we're talking about this morning. We're going to continue taking your calls, that we promise. But you know what? I have to tell you that Sophie Njeri is here. Sophie, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fine. Why is your voice like down there?
I'm fine.
You're fine?
Yeah,
all right.
I'm good.
Good to have you here this morning. And of course, looking at matters that we're talking about, Sophie Njeri is the National Youth League chair of the PM party and joins us in a conversation this morning. And you'd be interested to note that we've been having a conversation. Kenyans have been telling us things this morning, and they've been talking about the fact that what we see happening around the country is not empowerment, but it's bribery. You'll hear them in a bit. But before we do that, Dennis will share today's proverb with you, and then we're going to get your comments about what you think about what's currently going on.
We are in Liberia, right? The first republic in the continent, 1847. But let's go to the proverb. When the fowl is being slaughtered, let the turkey not laugh, because after the fowl, it will be its turn. How would you interpret it?
When I saw the headline that the 54-year-old advocate had been found murdered after missing for 2 months, that's exactly what I thought. Like, the older generation are out here thinking extrajudicial killings and disappearances is a young people's thing. Then the next time it's 54-year-olds being found murdered. So same thing. Don't laugh. Don't sit and assume the thing is not going to affect you. Like, situations that go against humanity should be treated with utmost seriousness, because one way or another they'll come for you. So that thing they say, they came for the preacher, I kept quiet,
I said nothing.
They said nothing, now they've come for me and there's no one to speak on my behalf. Absolutely.
Well,
those are the thoughts, for sure. Thanks for sharing that. And yes, folks, we can see you calling in 0732142650, 0732142653. But Sophie, there's a lot that's been happening in the country. We've been made to understand that these empowerment programs have been happening all around the country. In fact, somebody has sent me a message, or has tagged me on a message this morning, and said that we should be a little bit more responsible. in terms of talking about these things that are happening all the time, but that the media chooses to highlight them only when something like Olkalau happens, and that we being irresponsible when it comes to not sharing about when these empowerments actually do happen. It's just coincidental that this is happening in Olkalau when there is an election, a by-election that's happening a few days ahead. So we must be responsible in reporting about the development that happens around the country and not just highlight this one to make it seem as though nothing were happening around the country.
I don't understand, because if actually there are programs that affect common Mwananchi, we said we will not be calling them common Mwananchi, that affect Kenyans, this should just be felt. I say, for instance, Kibaki. Okay, let's go back. Moi had free milk that he was giving out to every single school at that time, and that was an impact that people could possibly talk about, and the hospitals and the infrastructures and the education systems. Then there was free primary education that did not have to be personalized. It was a thing that affected every single Kenyan across the country at a level board. Then there was Linda Mama. It affects every Kenyan at a level board. You benefit because you are a Kenyan. But what are these programs that are being given to... Okay, that person is saying these things happen all the time. When Nduh umefikiwa, mi sijafikiwa bado. I don't know if the rest of your co-hosts have been got by that. But my question is, don't we have independent institutions mandated to have intelligence on this, to know who is doing this, where the money is coming from? But what we are seeing this guy on the front page of Standard do is just issue threats. You'd think he's a kawaida Kenyan like us, that we are doing investigations, we are doing... Gosh, you're the CEO, you're the chairperson of the institution, and then you see the worst part is he's talking, and behind him it's free, transparent, and fair. Like the branding for IBC says free, transparent, and fair. But bro, uko mandated kufanya hiyo kazi. Why is this happening under your nose? 2 days ago you issued... Like this week you said, that the specific caps somebody is supposed to use for campaign financing. Where is all this money coming from? We need to understand that. You should know by now. Last week when he was giving the schedule for elections, he said that if we continue in this chaotic environment, we might not have an election because of the toxicity. Another week later, you're coming to tell us we might postpone the election or actually cancel it entirely. So you're threatening to deny the people of Olkalau representation based on something that you have been funded and given mandate to control. Are we serious? What sort of mediocrity is our country becoming? The people who are being paid using our taxpayers' money to institute policies and to implement them are the same people coming to tell us they are not able to do that.
Well, look, the question was raised this morning as to whether what we're seeing is empowerment or whether it's bribery. And we're taking some calls this morning. Just after Joe, you're going to come in. And I just want to remind folks what that number is: 0732 142650, 0732 142652. We'll take your calls in just a minute. Joe?
Yeah, but Sophie, one would argue that the loss of an MP is something to worry and interest the government to come and condole with you. Because all these activities, you see them happening in constituencies where people have lost their representation, either the county or the National Assembly. So that's the question is now, is it really bribery? Is it empowerment? Is it IBC just going slow? And even the threat to cancel the election perhaps can also be interpreted to be an extension of the campaign period. Maybe some people are reading they might lose or they don't want to. So many things could be in play here. But my concern or my question this morning is, why do people show up for these things? Because it would appear that there are needs that have already been identified in these specific areas, be it power connectivity, be it water connectivity, be it mattress, be it the need for a train, a locomotive to be operational after so many years of stalling. But there are these needs that have already been identified. Why do people show up? If we know it is wrong, if we know we are being bribed, why are people showing up? Is it our poverty levels that are so high that we don't know what to do? Anything that comes our way, we go for it and say we're going to deal with the consequences later? Are people woke enough to know that the same government, the same system that is bringing you goodies now is the same system that has sustained your poverty level to a point whereby they'll come and have you beg and queue to receive things that you should have received years ago? Because every Kenyan should be having access to clean water. Every Kenyan should be having access to, proper shelter and all those things. People are receiving seedlings for plantation.
Shoes.
So, and shoes, speedboats. So are we able to connect the source of our problems and see how this, Nduh, you said it is what? Affection. Spontaneous affection. That now instantly people are coming into your area, to your neighborhood, to your kitchens and bedrooms. We saw in Berenol, people were plucking jabba, people were taking tea. But after the election, people left. Are we able to connect the dots and see how powerful this thing we call a vote is? Because people are only camping in Olkalau because of the vote. That's all they need. They don't need cows, they don't need money, they don't want land. They want the people's vote. And people have invested more than $1 billion in that campaign. Are we able to make these connections?
I think everything that is happening is interconnected because this government is run by a man who is very, very smart. Like, there is nothing he has ever done with his existence other than politics. Like, William Ruto does not know how to sell chicken. He's been a politician ever since he was in university. So, from him coming to use state resources to bribe people in Olkalau, to him, at the end of the day, having a plan B. Because he knows, even internationally, I'm sure they have told him, we will give Kenyans the benefit of doubt that they will not overturn your government, but we can only trust you up until voting day. So if you look at what they are trying to establish with the by-elections, in Bere North, people were being given lollipops. Do you remember?
Yes, they were.
By the governor, yes.
And even if you look at the narrative they're trying to create, even if you look at their social media platforms, they're so manipulative. You'll see Tumbi in a market, akinunua cabbage, akipena. Like, they have understood that Kenyans do not love anything else other than populist politics. And that is why it is uncomfortable when young people begin to raise issues and not who's the most popular person. Nani, look at the campaign tactics. Mtu hujai muona na kitamba anavaa kitamba. Mtu hujai muona amejifunga leso anajifunga leso. Like, vipindi, Kenyans love these things. They're more exciting, and the more they can talk about you on social media, the more popular you are. But then again, which body is mandated to perform voter education? Which body is mandated to assist you to open your brain to know a credible MP should be like this and like this? The same IABC. They get a budget for it, but they don't do it. Unfortunately, according to the Constitution, an independent institution is supposed to be a representation of the people. They are supposed to institutionalize oversight on behalf of the citizens. So the question here is, what is wrong with us as the citizens? Is it that we are so distracted with our day-to-day life, our life is so hard, that we do not understand that everything is political? However, the thing that I love the most is that at this period of time, there is a generation that is willing. In every home in Olkalau, there is a Gen Z. In every home, in everywhere in this country, there is a young person. And I can tell you, we are having these conversations with our parents. We're telling them, look, this is what you have made so normal that now it's being used against us. So now our parents are beginning to say, where my child is where I will be. For instance, my mother is like, Sophie, this time I don't think I trust because my mother had gone to the extent of calling Ruto her brother. It was that serious. So now she's like, no, I don't think I have the
brother.
I will listen to you because I think you guys are raising issues. But to the people of Olkalao in Bere North, they left. Less than a month later, there was a strike for a hospital. Now, wanatoa transformer. Have you been to Olkalao? Oh my God, it's such a green area. There's water, like natural flowing water. There's no wonder wanapelekewa boat, like, but the wanapelekewa boat kwa a dam that dries up sometimes. So you're like, guys, kwani amuishi hapa amuoni the things that are happening?
I mean, Sophie, in all this, because we were having a conversation yesterday and we're looking at the elections. Election is a process. And even as we look at towards the by-election, what you're seeing right now is the process towards that.
Exactly.
And with that, then there are minimums that people must operate within. IEBC is saying, what are you investigating? We've seen it. You look at EACC. Where is EACC when we see the speakers of the National Assemblies are participating in elections? Where is DCI in protecting the law?
They're busy looking for social media.
With that, then, the question that I ask is, individuals who are holding these positions in trust of us as wananchi, have they acclimatized themselves with the power that you have donated them? Do they even understand what it is they ought to do in those offices? Or are they just there to get salaries and to get orders from offices that should not be directing them because they are independent institutions?
You see, when we were doing the Tukokadi campaign, one day we had an audience with Alutalala. And he blurted out something very weird. Daddy mwenyewe akarudi nyuma akajiuliza nimesema. Because in one of those videos we were saying one time at one of the exercises that we were doing in Thika. So he was like, you guys, do you know we are Ruto's people? You cannot be seen saying one time at an IEBC constituency office.
This you saw.
Then
you
repeat
were
that again?
You were with him in the room, Sophie.
I even, after that meeting, I told the guys we were in that meeting with, by the next meeting, I'm not attending.
What did he say?
Because I will embarrass you guys.
What did he say again?
He said, we are Ruto's people. You cannot be saying one term at an IEBC branded constituency office. And I went like, so what you're trying to say is you're actually not independent? But that is exactly the system of appointments in this country. Institutions that should be given on merit are given on friendship basis. Why are we seeing threats being issued that if the chaotic environment continues, you are threatening to disqualify the candidates who you say you know? So you were disqualifying ndio tukutambue. That is your role. But you are giving threats like me, a normal Sophie will give you an ultimatum and tell you if you don't do this,
call police.
Something like that. These guys, this institution is not independent. And I get so angry sometimes with even leaders who are in positions of power and they say they're in opposition. Because you have parliamentarians. You have people who can call these people for a discussion in parliament to oversight them. But you are busy outside making noise like the rest of us who do not have donated power. So these people don't, including the people we elect as MPs, they do not understand their role. Let me ask the people of the ones who that MP was shot, who Boyd Were is their representative. Can they show us a day where Boyd Were has spoken in parliament about the issues of the people of Kasipul since he was elected?
On Better North.
Mbere North. No, Mbere North is coming to say Tutam is in heaven because God, there is resurrection after you die. Tutam is in the Bible, so even Ruto should be a Tutam president. That's the one thing he's busy talking about outside here and giving excuses as to why transformers are being removed from his place. All of a sudden, there is a sudden inspection being done and servicing of the transformers. Excuse us, Kenyans, we are the problem. They are not. It is us.
Before Sophie cries, we'll take a couple of calls because people want to hear what people have to say this morning. 0732142650, 0732142653. Is this empowerment? Is it bribery? You'd be interested to hear what they have to say. Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing? Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Hussein Mohammed. I'm calling from Isiolo.
Yes, Hussein. What are your thoughts? This bribery or is this empowerment?
This is not even bribery. It's a catastrophe. It is something that I cannot even think about. Now, what I'm trying to say is that we had a by-election in Isiolo South.
Yes.
We have never seen this kind of development, this kind of issue, this kind of things that which were brought to Isiolo South. It was just like we are second-class citizens of this country. And, I'm an elder, and by the way, history is very beautiful. I was a young man when Jomo Kenyatta was there. I also met Moi, and then Kibaki, also Uhuru. What I'm seeing here is the issue of governance has really completely been eroded by Kenya Kwanza government. And what I'm seeing here is the issue of Olkalau. It's totally bribery, not even bribery, worse than bribery. The issue of, I'm talking about the issue of IEBC. IEBC is now, I'm sorry to say, it's no longer independent. I'm shocked to see the chair of IEBC saying he might disqualify the candidates or the election of Olkalau. All this time, the bribery was continuing, government officials were there, and yet he has never even spoken about it. My main worry is, by the way, I'm 70. My main worry is that current IEBC might put this country into a civil war because of lack of independency. They are being controlled from somewhere else. And the issue of governance in this country is at the crossroad.
Mohammed, that's very serious what you're saying.
Yes, because, by the way, governance is very critical. And I want to appeal to the president of this country. For God's sake, you are we respect the president and the presidency. Why don't you be somebody who will make sure that you follow the rules of law and leave the independent institutions to run independently? I'm worried about the IPOA, name institutions, all institutions. But I am worried about IEBC. I know Atulela, because he was the lawyer of Mudavadi. I was the chair of ANC when it was being disbanded. We had to sign some documents. Things are not going right in terms of governance. I want to tell Kenyans, for God's sake, open your eyes, think, because this is our country. We must make sure that we have to demand. By the way, the oversight, like the parliaments, the Senate has been captured. They are no longer independent. They are not even our leaders. We are just waiting for 2027 to tuwafagia wote. For those many remarks, I want to say, wacha tuombe Mwenyezi Mungu kwa ajili things are not good for this country. By the way, Shah and She and Shu is not working in Isiolo and all over the country. I can tell you this. Kenyans are suffering, and I don't know really, but we need to think about 2027. We elected the right leader. The president wants to leave independent institutions, and your government should stop abducting youth, and allow people to demonstrate peacefully. But now what's happening in Olkalau for 2027, I am worried. Warren, IEBC is not an independent institution currently. I know that by the action. Thank you.
Mohammed Hussein is in Isiolo. Thank you very much for calling this morning. We're going to take a couple of calls from others, but thank you for lending your voice to that conversation. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hello, fine, thank you. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I go by the name Babailes from Dubai. I for once thought maybe you're not allowed to receive calls from Dubai.
No, we receive calls from all over the world, and we're glad that you're calling us this morning.
Yeah.
Please tell us what your thoughts are about this. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I'd like to appreciate the guest, Sophia. She really injected. I really like her a lot.
There you
I think my algorithm line up with her. So what I want to say is that I'd like to say congratulations for the government for discovering that there is a constituency called Olkalau.
Okay.
I think, we learned about the European, they came from Europe and they discovered about the Lake Victoria, Mount Kenya, Mount Kilimanjaro, as if we were not living here. So they're the one. So for them also, I think they have discovered that there is Olkalau and they need this stuff like they don't have cooking gas and stuff like that. How I wish they could have gone a little bit down and discovered that there is a school called Utumishi, and instead of giving those mattresses to the public, they could have given to those schools, because we have a number of schools which have a deficit of dormitories and even students are sleeping on corridors. Why did they? How can they see that? I don't understand. I don't really understand. And it really, and to the IEBC, thanks for them that we are confirming ourselves that they are an institution that we cannot trust. In fact, in the whole panel of the commission, I think it's only one person I can say that at least he's there based on merit. The guy who is there in regard to the issue of delimitation, because he's a survey and stuff like that. But the rest, they are there because they are talking on behalf of someone. Because if someone who is just barking and he cannot bite, then why are you in those positions? For God's sake, why are you receiving salaries? For them, their biggest thing is to talk about that they don't have cars, they have old cars, so they need new cars and stuff like that. And we can see even this stuff they're being distributed, the pipe water and stuff. We can see through. It is through this Article 223, the supplementary budget that was given to the four departments. And that is the money that is being used for this by-election. For me, I believe that is where the money, because how can you spend those money? It was 6 billion, around 6 billion in 2 weeks. It is the money being splashed in those by-elections. So thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling in this morning, Babalias, for calling in from Dubai this morning. We'll take some other calls briefly before we go to a break. Thanks for your call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Peter. I'm calling from Nairobi.
Yes, Peter, what are your thoughts? Are we looking at bribery or empowerment?
I think that you should be quoting the question on what's happening in Olkalau right now. It's not just bribery; it's criminal. Mm-hmm. The reason I'm saying that is because I've been involved in community level development issues. And when you go back to the Constitution that, we passed in 2010, the issue of public participation, why we have public participation, actually, if it were followed to the letter, the whole idea is so that before, right now, or even before, you had politicians come in and say during campaign, in our letter, this one, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you. The Constitution nullified that, whereby during the public participation, it is the villagers who come together. Let's look at the ward level. The villagers in the ward, they come together and sit down and decide, we need to prioritize this school, this road, this dam. And that is what they forward during the public participation to the ward administration and say, this is what we want. And this needs to go to the budget. So the county assembly debates based on what the people have asked. So you tell me, in your Kalau, I've seen some pink gas cylinders or whatever color they are.
Yeah.
Which villagers sat down and decided that's what we want? Which villagers sat down and decided we want a speedboat? It is not just bribery, it is criminal. It is criminal. And the worst part is the people, the Kenya Kwanza administration, they're very aware of this. They know what they're doing is criminal. And let me tell you, what's happening right now should not worry people. What should worry Kenyans is that this administration will do whatever it takes to come back to power and protect what they are doing. It is, when as a criminal, you want to eliminate loose ends. This is what this administration is going to do come 2027. They will kill, they will maim, they will bribe, they will steal, they will ban to be in power, to protect the crimes they're doing right now. These are just the tip of the iceberg. What's happening now should not worry Kenyans.
You're saying that what is coming is what should worry Kenyans.
What is coming is what should worry Kenyans. This goonism you're seeing, it is not by coincidence, Nduh. It is calculated. You are being slowly introduced to violence, so that when it happens in August or before August, does not come as a shock. Bloodbath is coming, so that this administration will protect what they're doing now. That's what should worry Kenya. What happened is criminal in Kalau. That's what happened in Mwea, in Mbere was criminal. All that will be protected, and will be protected by whichever means possible by this administration.
Wow, it's heavy. But thank you for your thoughts this morning, Peter. Thank you for sharing those with us. Asante sana. We're going to come back to you, Sophie, as we take more calls in just a minute, because you can hear what people are saying. Yeah. People said that we're sugarcoating this thing even and calling it just using, but it's actually a lot worse and a lot deeper than. Are we still surface level citizens where we see things for just, and we're not looking at what is under the layer?
There is a reason why the Constitution made sure that we have 3 independent arms of government. If the executive and the parliament are not able to look after themselves, then the judiciary must come in. But then again, we have normalized not following court orders. Like they were told not to clear the forest in Meru, they're still doing it. For a state lounge. I wonder where Uhuru used to sleep when he used to go to Meru, because now this one is saying he needs a place to sleep. So the same way we have normalized not following court orders is the same way we are, like the guy was just finished talking, saying that we are normalizing violence. And he's literally iterated what I'm just from saying. Nothing happens by coincidence in the government of William Samoei Ruto. He's a very calculative man. Even if you look at the amount of machinery that he has bought for the police, the budget allocations in this coming financial year that has just started this month, it just goes to show you where his priorities are and what his plans are to instigate violence and to come back on us as the citizens and say, hey, you're not ready to go into an election. You're fighting too much.
Can you translate budgetary allocation towards an intent to use or to turn Kenya into a state whereby it's controlled? Can you really do that, Sophie?
In this newspaper, by the Standard, it says 80 Kenyans die of cancer daily.
Yes.
SHA is not working. FinSprint, a company that apparently pays out the payments of SHA, maintains 2%. So if we are to say that 31 million Kenyans have registered into SHA, they have paid around 403 billion. So Finsprint is maintaining 806 billion. But we are removing 10 billion from reproductive and maternal care from the BPS of this financial year. We're removing 10 billion from reproductive and maternal health care. And we are giving National Police Service 11 billion. We're removing 25 billion from roads development. Sijui umeona barabara za CBD. Actually, they are so bad, they have major potholes. So we're removing 25 billion from road development. And we are giving 21 billion to Ministry of Defense. Nduh, what does Ministry of Defense need with an additional 21 billion? From the 100 and something billion they already allocated, let's go into other operating expenses. After they have already catered for all the expenses, they cater for other operating expenses. In the financial year that just ended, the Ministry of Interior used the highest other operating expenses to a tune of 23 billion. It's no longer an issue of feelings and emotions. It is an issue of facts. What is he preparing for?
I mean,
are we fighting? You and me, are we fighting? We are from different communities. Are we fighting? In the areas where wameshindwa kumaliza banditry, now all that allocation to those two ministries, what is all that money for?
Then, Sophie, one would argue that the government does not fight with itself. It is the people who are radicalized.
Who fight the government?
No. It's the people who are equipped to fight one another on behalf of the so-called government. But we keep talking about we, the people, uprising. We, the people, have the power. The fear is gone. Their power is gone. But are we really, as we are saying, there is a potential threat of us being put at loggerheads so that there is interference on the electoral process. But we, the people, are we conversant with the idea that we can maintain and generate peace and a peaceful process, making sure that the outgoing president goes home peacefully? Because peace is not about him or the regime. Peace is about us. We, the people, not losing a single life. We, the people, not rising against one another, despite our political differences. Can we mature very fast? Because today is the 10th of July. We are exactly a month and a year away to voting. Can we, as a people from where you stand, decide and make a commitment to our own very selves that we are not going to fight one another, we are going to vote and peacefully have a transition in creation of a regime that will come and serve the people, whereby 80 people will not die of cancer, whereby people will not be dependent on how close you are to a president or a governor or an MP or even an MCA to experience development using the money that you pay as tax. Do we acknowledge the responsibility to generate, create and maintain peace is ours solely? The police, the regime has no place in it.
But let's be honest. Even the Bible will tell you that my people will perish for lack of knowledge.
You assume that is the truth, but fine.
But it is the truth. An ignorant society and an ignorant state is not able to make informed decisions. So if you calculatively look at Ruto's moves, he came for Standard Media Group. On Sabasaba Day, he went for Nation Media Group. What is he trying to do? He's trying to show you that, hey, if you keep informing the public, if you keep emancipating the masses, okay, you have refused one for the Bible. You have not refused, but Bob Marley said what? Emancipate yourself.
From mental slavery.
From mental slavery.
That's the gospel truth.
Because the problem is here, the brain. So the first three institutions have failed us. Who is the last person? The fourth estate. Who is the fourth estate? Aren't they coming for you? Aren't they coming for social media? Aren't they coming for all of us? You are asking where the police are. The other day, the spokesman was saying the police are not everywhere, but they are everywhere seeing our posts on social media. They are coming for the very people who are doing their best to enlighten the public. People who are doing peaceful campaigns are being come for. So in short, here, what we need to understand is we are on our own. And the issue here is not us who are already here and grown The issue is posterity. What do our children inherit from us? So what is our role in ensuring that our children inherit a working Kenya, a new Kenya, a Kenya where they can live with dignity? Do you know now you are seeing goons in high-end areas? What does that mean for the state of business in the last quarter 3, quarter 4 for businesses in high-end areas?
I think for us to have a discussion that one would say Mwananchi is as well starting to think is, I have a problem with what some politicians are saying out there. Akikuja na pesa wewe kula, but nowhere you're voting. For me, that's a statement that should not exist. It should be wakikuja na pesa, wafukuze na pesa yao. Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to make a decision based off your feelings, research that you've done, and the person who will bring that change. There is an EU country where smoking was a problem, especially among the young people. And what did the society do? The entire society, including the leadership of the country, said, anyone who's smoking, you'll be considered to be the most useless person in that country. And what did that do? People started people stopped smoking. Why? Because before the society, no one really cares who you are. Why? Because there's no one who's going to employ you. There's nowhere you'll go to talk to anybody because you are useless in that society. We need to start looking at individuals who are coming up with this bribery to us and tell them you are the worst there is in the society and you have no room where we are to even have a conversation because you are an idiot and you see less. Because we sugarcoat these things. IEBC says we are investigating. We will cancel the election. How about you just see these individuals, reprimand them, take them to court, remove them from the election, and let the people decide the best person there is? Why isn't IEBC calling out the government that we're seeing is going against the electoral laws? The government swore to protect the constitution of the republic. When the government is failing at that and IEBC is not taking the requisite position, the power they have to speak out, where do we run to? But like you've said, we as a people must start having this discussion. When you're told kula lakini jua penye kura yako iko, fukuza huyo mtu. I don't know.
But you see, there's also a thing about us Kenyans, about not wanting to address the hard issues. For example, we are like, there is this side and this side. So this side that is actively opposing William Ruto, just because you're saying William Ruto must go, does not mean you are clean.
True.
Does not mean you are the Messiah. If we come down to the positions of leadership that you have ever held, what is your track record? The positions of leadership, some of us who are the biggest people to say one term, we're still the people coming out when the Controller of Budgets releases the counties that have the most illegal bank accounts, you feature there. When the Controller of Budgets says that according to the Constitution, counties are supposed to allocate 35% of their budget to development, and those of you who are allocating below 20%, you feature there as a person who is giving 13% of your entire budget to development. But you're on this side saying William Ruto must go and be replaced by somebody who you deem fit you yourself. But what are you doing? If you say that, Kenyans will come and tell you, oh, you want to divide the opposition, you're not being objective. But hey, why do we keep lying to ourselves? We are the sole source of the problem. And it needs to begin by what you're saying, reading these people of our attention. And our time. And now it needs to be, hey, we are not hearing leaders talk about sexual reproductive issues of women. We are seeing budget cuts on sexual reproductive health issues of women, and we are not hearing people talk about it. We are seeing issues of femicide. A friend of mine yesterday went to report to the police that she had been beaten by her own brother at home. And the police are telling her, madam, wewe sio wa kwanza. Unajua kunaendanga hivi, fanya hivi. Enda huko Buruburu police station, I think inakuanga hapo, enda huko. Uko ndio watakusaidia. But she's like, guys, you want me to go back to the same house I'm just from, coming here bleeding for you at where tunaenda patrol tebu tuende. Like, we are normalizing violence. A broken system, and slowly we are beginning to feel it. Why? Rwanda sold their tea for more money than us in the previous week. Kenya is slowly Kenya has lost. Kenya used to be among the list of people where they could come for exile here and feel safe. Kenya was removed from that list. By the time we understand the cumulative effects of bad leadership, it will be so bad. It will take us decades to recover. So this is our once in a lifetime chance to finally say, hey, let's try new people. Nyinyi already, we know your modus operandi. We know how you move. Let's try new people. Let's put young leaders in parliament, in county assemblies, to safeguard at least the very institutions that are responsible for policies. And then if those people don't work, take them home. Bring another new one. If they don't work, take them home. Until we change the political arena to a point where people are able to see, hey, leadership is not a place where you come na unakwamia hapo.
But there is a question. There is a looming question. Because every time the age question is flagged, the governor of Nairobi is a young person.
True. But the governor of Makueni is a young person. And he has a lot of illegal accounts.
But the delivery of these people is very wanting.
Yes.
So much as we are saying, yes, for gear water, which I agree. I totally agree. We need a fresh, new criteria of the people we employ. I don't see anyone. I don't have a leader myself. I'm led by the constitution. Everybody else, starting with the president, is an employee. I pay them with our taxes. So we are seeking to employ people. In my opinion, yes, age could be a factor, but can we expand that criteria to the extent whereby we say we have the chapter 6 of the constitution and many other provisions that define whom an employee of Kenyans ought to be. And also we inculcate this in our mind, a paradigm shift, that we are not looking for a leader, not mtu wetu, no. We are looking to hire someone to do a specific job, whether you are appointed, nominated, or elected. If we can just define that, I think it will help us rid ourselves of these riffraffs, in my opinion, who come to just live these exaggerated lives on our taxes. Number 2, I think we also bear the responsibility, because we can talk about the problem for days on end, but if we don't start looking towards a solution, then the problem will persist, and time is flying by. Could it be that we also need to stop showing up in these meetings of these characters? Because we give them their attention, we give them our time, and then we feel they should even compensate us for that. That's why they give the money and the goodies. How about we start showing up all together?
Good job.
Yeah, but hata kama basi hatuko job, tuko idle, hata kama tuna show up na bare minimums gani? As citizens, we first of all need to sit down and have the conversation amongst ourselves that, hey, in Thika, we need security lights, we need water. In Makueni, we need boreholes. In Isiolo, like they say, they need roads. Then when they come to us, we are presenting them that, hey, if your manifesto does not have sexual health and reproductive matters of women in it, you cannot talk to us.
But you don't see that as a problem? Because that is exactly what is happening in Onkalao. They gave their bare minimum. That if you want us to elect your candidate, give us water.
Walisema wanataka gas.
Electricity.
Na gas.
Everybody said what they wanted. Those bare minimums.
But those are things you do when you get to office.
We should have a problem with the source. Because if you go and demand from a corrupt person and they fulfill your immediate needs, your bare minimum, and then you let them into office, they still operate in a corrupt manner. So we need not to trade off. The bare minimum ought to be rule of law.
Yeah.
You remember what I said earlier? An election is a process. And the process starts with the bare minimums that even we're talking about in here, where we have, they say you need to have a degree, for example, right? And for you to have a degree, you need to go to CLE, Commission of Legal Education, or CUE, Commission of University Education. They have to look at your papers, and they have to satisfy, you have to satisfy that body that you are clean. They have to clear you. Now, when that body as well has a problem, you have an individual where from the word go chapter 6, out of the window. You know, IEBC is talking about you must spend 4 billion shillings as a president, right? Why isn't IEBC having that conversation with KRA so that we know the source of that money that you are coming to spend? Can we have receipts that you give to show that you spent this money in a certain way? Today, I dare anyone to come tell us where the money being spent in Olkalau came from today, and where are the receipts on who got this money for us to say the Olkalau by-election that will take place is free and fair and followed all the tenets of the law, including fighting money laundering in the country. If these are things that we cannot talk and we cannot say are happening, we have no business saying our elections are free and fair and that we have the correct people who will change this country.
True that.
I think the people of Olkalau have a mandate to show the country that they can actually vote with their brains, that hata akuja jenge tamak road ndani ya nyumba yangu ama anifanye niishi kwa nyumba na niishinde nikimuita dad, lakini we vote out these people. Like, it needs to be a wake-up call that, hey, I'm going home. And that is exactly what I'm hoping on 16th of July the people of Olkalau are going to do. But if they actually don't guard those votes and they allow for the voting to be rigged or to be done like it was done in Mbere, then we still have a long way to go. 1 year will not be enough to change the trajectory of this country. So I guess the next few days are going to be very heated up. But it is about time that citizens take in the fact that they need to participate in the electoral process and political processes for us to actually change this nation.
And the participation that we speak about is not being on the receiving end of some of these things. The participation that we talk about is actually having a psyche that is awakened to the things that are actually going on. But participatory means that you're putting into positions of leadership people who will actually then do their job, that the sovereignty that has been ascribed to them according to the Constitution. It's as simple as that. All of these other things, I mean, they're nice bells and whistles, but they don't matter. Really, when you're looking at the thing, what does the Constitution say? Which Kenyans agreed to? What did you agree that you're going to actually do for your country? And if you follow that,
grateful that Kenya has independence of the media, because were it not for the media, we would be far behind than we already are right now. So I don't know if anybody tells the media fraternity thank you enough, but from 1 to 10, we are at 4, 5 because of the media. So let's keep having these conversations. Maybe the cumulative effect will be seen in 2027.
It's good that we have these conversations, that we cannot keep quiet about certain things. So we want to say a very big thank you. Sophie Muguru Njeri is the National Youth League Chair at PM Party, and she's been here with us this morning. And all of you, and I know that there were so many calls that we could not take, but that there's so much in terms of what people want to say, and that if we be the sounding board where people's opinions then will be made, then we will do it. Asante sana for being here this morning. Good morning, everybody. It's 9 a.m.
The latest news from around the world. 94.4 Spice FM.
Good morning, this is the news. I'm Sheila Tembor. The government is set to release an additional 6.97 billion shillings this month for the Talanta Stadium, bringing total payments to contractor China Road and Bridge Corporation to nearly 29 billion shillings. A report by Controller of Budget Margaret Nyakango shows construction of the 60,000-seater stadium is 90.44% complete. However, remaining works, commissioning and CAF inspection must be completed by July ahead of the 2027 AFCON tournament. The stadium stadium, which will host the opening match and final, has faced several delays, with completion dates revised from December 2025 to March this year and now July. Meanwhile, an audit by Auditor General Nancy Gadungu has raised concern over the project's cost and procurement process. The audit found the contract value had risen from the approved 35 billion shillings to 45.85 billion shillings, an unexplained increase of 10.85 billion shillings. Auditors also questioned the direct procurement of China Road and Bridge Corporation, citing insufficient justification for bypassing competitive tendering, as well as gaps in legal approvals and financing records. The project is funded through a 44.49 billion shilling infrastructure asset-backed security, a financing model launched on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, with repayments expected from future allocations by the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund. In other news, a section of Kakamega residents and supporters of Edwin Sifuna have faulted a decision to endorse the Nairobi senator at the residence of Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya in Kitale. They insisted that any political declaration made on behalf of the Mulembe nation should be held in Kakamega, which they described as the political headquarters of Western Kenya.
Sifuna kama ni kijana angekuja hapa Kakamega Murirokaten atuambie maneno yake hapa kama Waluya tumuelewe. Nyumba ya Natembeya sio Murirokaten. Hiyo project ambao huko ndani tunaijua. Sisi tulikuwa tunajua kwamba Sifuna apangwi na mwananchi. Apangwi na mtu binafsi.
Tunaona ni kama tena wewe Sifuna mtoto ambaye tumeendorse bure na bidomo yetu. Na hata kura tunaweza kupea bure bila hata kusema unatafuta pesa.
A man in Kaya Township, Kilifi County, has been rescued by police after being attacked by locals over allegations that he stole another man's private parts. Police have identified the suspect as Edwin Kimanthi, a Nairobi resident and investor in Kilifi, who had traveled to the area to inspect the construction of his rental houses. According to a police report, the incident began after Kimanthi allegedly greeted a young man at a shop, leading to an argument when the man claimed his private parts had shrunk after the handshake. The suspect was assaulted by a mob that reportedly beat him with stones and clubs, stripped him naked, and took photos before police rescued him. Kimanthi is currently receiving treatment at Kilifi Referral Hospital for serious injuries. Authorities have launched investigations into the incident and warned residents against spreading the unverified claims.
Sasa huyu jamaa amekuja kwa duka, huyu Michael, akauziwe. Katika harakati ya kuuziwa akapata yeye ile sinaona achukua change, amemgusa mkono. Ule akasikia kiu baridi kwa mwili. Kuchungulia hivi, unajua kuna baadhi zilikuwa zinaendelea kuchungulia hivi. Kazuia kabila nilizia jamaa kabla atoko jamaa kapani. Panic yeye kabila yetu confirm yako iko vipi? Kuangalia yake nayo kumbe naye inaanza kuenda.
Pia hana. Umbe hawa jamaa wanachukua hizi vitu, hao pia hawana.
Tomatas Agriculture, Kirinyaga Senator Kamau Murango has criticized the government's decision to allow the importation of 490 tons of duty-free rice, saying it will hurt local farmers who pay taxes on their produce. Murango accused the government of violating a court order allowing the importation, alleging the move could be aimed at undermining local rice growers.
Tuko na agizo la mahakama ambalo limesema wazi kwamba hata mchele nchini kabla mchele haijanunuliwa. Na wacha hiyo, kwa sababu mchele ambao unapandwa sahihi bila mbolea ambayo wakulima wamenyimwa itakuwa inakomaa baada ya miezi 3. Ni kusema yule mpunga ukiletwa hapa, mchele ukiletwa kutoka nje, utakuja tu kukutana na mkulima, alafu soko utakuwa kuna. Serikali ni kama patasi, ndio ifanye kazi lazima igongwe. Hii ya William Samoei Ruto, serikali mpaka igongelewe chini, haina heshima na wakulima.
The senator said the decision threatens efforts to support domestic rice production and call for protection of local farmers.
John Mbadi, mkaindi wa serikali, ametoa leo na kutangaza katika gazeti rasmi la serikali kwamba kunafaa kuletwe mchele takriban tani 490 ambayo mchele itavunja wakulima moyo. Soko halitakuwepo. Tumekuwa tukingangana na shida na ukerezo kwa wakulima. Wakulima moya sasa ndio wanapanda mchele. Wanapanda bila mbolea ya ruzuku ya serikali kwa sababu serikali imesahau kazi yake. Lakini kwa kutuletea mchele ambayo haijalipiwa ushuru, kushindana na mchele ambayo imelipwa na ushuru tungu nzima, ndio wanaweza tu kufanya.
And that's the news. I'm Sheila Tembor.
.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
SRC's mandate is constitutional. It's not an advice. It's actually something you must do.
Must do.
Like now, you abandon, of course, the narrative of wheelbarrow, Mutomjengo, Mamamboga, and all those, that rosy narrative.
Your expenditure is 3.3 trillion, and you're collecting only 2.5. Out of that 2.5, you're spending 1.8 trillion service loans and so forth.
That the CDF kit, it's in itself a symptom of corruption.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Members of parliament, they go to set house, they just promised they get given tea, mandazi, and 100,000. That's not development.
External borrowing, 589 billion. Are we on the same page? What did parliament pass?
If anything happened to our president today, God forbid, that man would become president. Na ndio alilenga hizo stories za Shakahola.
The real thing is our constitution has only one person who is accountable to us.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
Parliament has got powers. Let me break it down. The National Assembly can initiate an impeachment of the president.
This same
and the
National
Senate,
Assembly.
Yes. That's our constitution.
This is just a continuation of the previous administration, which Ruto was part of. President Uhuru himself openly said that we're losing 2 billion daily. Daily. I mean, come on. Are you saying that we don't have a central bank?
If we look at Kenya, both public-private sector, that figure is ranging between 30 to 40%, right?
I think it's clear that the government of Kenya is living beyond its means.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on SpiceFM.
He himself actually has admitted that he bribed members of parliament. So
he admitted that he bribed members of parliament.
Well, when he said
the government,
when he said that he gave the 10 million was for what?
We're always quick to point faults in somebody else before you look at your own faults as a person.
If it was Kanu's day, hii amuka naye leo ungekuwa umeenda mbali sana hii. So when we must celebrate you.
There are 600 million people now globally estimated to be living with diabetes in the world. So it is a major health problem. It's the largest single disease rising pandemic that we're dealing with right now.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
A very good morning to you. We continue our conversations this morning. It is now 9 after 9 o'clock, and we're going into a Healthy Friday conversation as we close the week with a big one. But before we do that, Dennis Aseto, you're telling us that we're going bomba.
Yes. Now, we've talked about systems, we've talked about storage, we've talked about movement of petroleum products from the port of Mombasa to the port in Kisumu and all the way to Uganda. We're talking about moving petroleum products reliably and in an efficient manner. So this morning, if you're stuck in traffic or you're just going about your business, think about the engine that is making all this possible. Kenya Pipeline Company PLC because now it is a limited company, a public limited company, is now telling you that they have invested in 1,700 kilometers of pipe that is transporting fuel products all that region. And that also comes in with qualified engineers and state-of-the-art monitoring facilities that ensures that this product moves and you're able to go about your business on a daily basis. But they're just not into the business of transporting fuel. They're also into ensuring that bright students of this republic who are not able to go to school in one way or the other, through the foundation, they're able to invest into these children and ensure that they're able to become that which they want to be. So if you want to get all the information that you need about KPC, you go to www.kpc.co.ke. All information you'll get there, and even just understand how they go about their business and also investments that go into this. Because remember, it is the engine that powers the economy of the Republic. KPC, Kenya Pipeline, bomba letu, ukuaji wetu.
Kabisa. All right. And even after that, we're going into a conversation this hour that we said that physiologically affects women, but socially and psychologically affects everybody. And that's the issue of fibroids and fertility is what we're looking at today. And that's a Healthy Friday conversation. It's a big one, and it affects quite a number of people. So we get into that today. We have two guests in the studio. Rhoda Wajiro Kibunja is a patient, and she joins us this morning. Good morning, Rhoda.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in this conversation today. Dr. Noshad Karim is a fibroids treatment expert at the Aga Khan University Hospital and is also here with us this morning. Good morning, Dr.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, both of you. Also, let's settle things a little bit. First of all, we start this off, usually welcome our guests to the studio with a proverb. Rhoda is smiling, so she knows what we're talking about. We go around the African continent every week. We come back from a particular country. Dennis comes back with their proverbs. We'd love to get your interpretation.
Yes, just came back. We from Liberia, the oldest republic in the continent, formed in 1847. By returnees, released slaves from the United States of America, so African Americans coming back and form the republic. But another first from this country is that it is the first country in the continent to elect a female president. So Ellen Sirleaf Johnson then becomes the first female president elected by the people in the continent. They are rich in timber, they are rich in diamond, they have rubber, and they have gold. So talk about pushing the economy forward. But let's go to the proverb. When the fowl is being slaughtered, let the turkey not laugh, because after the fowl, it will be its turn. Ladies, go first. How would you interpret it?
I think I would, let me keep it simple. I think it's do not laugh at your neighbor's misfortune, because you could be next. Yeah, that's how I would interpret that proverb.
Doctor, how would you interpret it?
I would interpret it in a similar way. That don't laugh at others when they stumble or fall. You can take a fall anytime as well.
Yeah, you need to see if they slip because there was a banana peel. Remove the banana peel because you might be the next. Asante sana for the interpretation.
Thank you. So at some point or another, everybody, at some point, most people would have heard about fibroids. I've heard about them. A larger number of people from that number would have experienced them. But sometimes we don't really know what they are. So we'll start with you, Dr. What are fibroids?
So fibroids are benign growths that occur in the uterus. So they're made of the uterine muscle. So they're benign, so they're not cancerous. And more than 50% of women at some point in their life, or more than 50% of women experience fibroids, or suffer from fibroids. So yeah, that's what they are.
Okay. And what causes them?
So the exact cause is not known, but genetics play a role. And then also their growth is driven by the hormones that the normal cyclical hormones that women experience. So the exact cause is not known of what causes them, but we know what drives their growth, and genetic factors play a role.
Yeah. So, Rhoda, us of this gender,
we the people.
We the people. Okay. You know, we hear about fibroids, and we most of the time don't really understand how deep it goes. At times you are with your significant other, you hear about it, but to understand what exactly women go through is in one way or the other far removed because we're not dealing with it. What's your story?
So my story with fibroids is it's a long one. Because I first got, I think, diagnosed with it in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And it only got diagnosed out of an emergency, meaning all my visits to the doctor, we kept missing that one issue that I could be suffering from fibroids. And what I was, the symptoms the symptoms I was displaying before the diagnosis was made is that I used to have very heavy menses. There was also a lot of pressure on my bladder, which obviously, when there's pressure, it means you're making frequent visits to the toilet. The other thing is you also have this bulge on your lower abdomen, and you're not quite sure whether it's just that you have gained a little weight or it's because of, you're not sure what the cause is. And then it also then means that for some, they have difficulty when it comes to also being intimate with their partner. So once the diagnosis was made for me, and that's, like I said, it came out of an emergency because I woke up one morning and I was bleeding, and I could not identify the problem. And at this point now, I quickly just called my mother, who was having had, as Dr. Noshad said, it's sometimes genetic. So she had gone through the experience. So actually, her first suggestion to me was to have me diagnosed whether I have fibroids. And sure enough, that was the problem. And because it was an emergency, I was going from diagnosis right into surgery to deal with the fibroids. Now, at the time in 2018, I had to undergo a keyhole surgery because I was reluctant to do major surgery. I have 2 children, and my last child I gave birth through CS. I had a previous surgery, so I had 2 incisions that were made at the same place they were going to do the incision to remove the fibroids. And to me, that was frightening. So I opted for keyhole. It was not very thorough because 6 months after the keyhole surgery, I found myself with a fibroid that might have been overlooked. So I was back into surgery again. And what we don't get warned is that most women don't get warned that the fact that there's a chance of relapse. I mean, you end up having the same fibroids growing all over again, even after you have had them removed. And I found myself again diagnosed in 2025 with more fibroids. But because I did not want to go through surgery again and all that pain, the recovery and all that, still with the same symptoms, heavy bleeding and all that, I was compelled to search for other alternatives. And that's how I actually ran into Dr. Noshad through my own research. Yeah.
Thanks, Rhoda. And we'll come back to how the presence of such a condition affects the normal way of life, or just, being human and other activities therein. But Daktari, you mentioned that around 50% of women are bound to experience the fibroid condition. I don't know whether it qualifies to be a disease or... So if that is known, are we able to trace back and say this could be the causative agents? This is what leads to, besides the genetic factor. I'm asking this because there are many theories out here, and it helps to demystify. I've heard stories that use of contraceptives, perhaps from an early age or whatever age for women, could lead to, don't know how true that is. Another thing has been that to deal with fibroids, just give birth and they'll be done away with. But do we have other agents or factors we can attribute to the cause of fibroids, and is giving birth a solution to that?
It's an interesting question.
Right.
So fibroids are driven by their growth is driven by the hormones that are produced by the ovary, and that sort of are present in every woman. So in a way, yes, when you get pregnant, some of those hormones that cause the cyclical changes are suppressed during pregnancy, and that can cause the fibroids to shrink. So in a way, that's true.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that you
keep giving birth.
Keep giving birth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the...
Okay. Is there a correlation between use of contraceptives and development of fibroids?
Again, I don't think there's any solid research that has proven that. So it would be hard to pin it only on that, because it's a number of factors that act together to cause fibroids.
So what has the research shown towards the management of fibroids? What has it shown that you can actually say, like Rhoda's given a very valid point here. From where she is, she's not interested in going through and having a surgery again that's going to be invasive and that's going to have a long healing process and time and all of that. Because, from what we hear and understand, for your removal of fibroids, you're not moving for the next 2 months,
Yes.
and then you heal and all of this. So what has the research shown for how this can be managed or shrink them, or,
So traditionally, broadly speaking, there are 4 treatment options for fibroids. So for those who are near menopause and their periods are already becoming further and further apart, they're starting to experience the hot flushes, and for those women who have fibroids, and if they're symptomatic, we can say, hold on, when you reach menopause, your hormones will go away and the fibroids will shrink. Then surgery is another option, and again we have 2 types of surgery. We have the surgery where you remove the uterus together with the fibroids, and we have the surgery where we remove the fibroids but leave the uterus in. Then we also have medical therapy, but medical therapy is mainly based at controlling the symptoms, not the fibroids. So, for example, there's medication that reduces the intensity of the bleeding, but it's not really treating the solution. It's not really treating the problem, sorry. And then the 4th option is minimally invasive treatment, and that's procedures like uterine fibroid embolization, which is what I do. And that involves going through a small blood vessel in the wrist, down to the uterus, down to the blood vessels, supplying the uterus and the fibroids, and putting particles to block the blood supply to the fibroids and killing them.
Is that the pinhole procedure, or is that different?
No, that's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Rhoda, the discovery that there is this condition that is something growing, and it's beginning to interfere with the normal cycle, the heavy bleeding. I can only imagine that if it is work or just normal movement and other things interfered with your schedule of activities, among other things. You're a parent, so there could be presence of a spouse, so intimacy could be affected. But largely, how was it trying to come to terms that I have this condition and these are the interferences that it is running in my life?
Okay. Like I said, the first diagnosis, the condition or the diagnosis sprung up on me. But before the diagnosis, yes, it's true. It interfered a lot with my day-to-day life. Like I would not... Like on those days, especially the beginning of your menses, I'd stay away from work. I was also in school at the time. I'd stay away from school simply because you don't want to embarrass yourself, because there's absolutely nothing. I came to the conclusion there was nothing I could do to to avoid embarrassing myself. In fact, there are instances when you think you're fine. You could even be traveling for long distances, and then what I was told is that sometimes when you're having very huge fibroids, it's like the brain is registering you're pregnant. So it has this supply of blood to that area, such that you could be fine 1 minute, you're traveling long distance, and then the minute you get up, you cannot stop the flow. And those were the days now I would choose then to avoid the embarrassment. I just stay put in the house until I manage that situation, and then when I can see it has reduced, I come out and enjoy my presence amongst everybody else. Yeah. So yeah, those, to me, that was the main factor, because so that means. And then sometimes it will also be prolonged, meaning when most people have their menses for 3 to 5 days, mine would run on for almost even 2 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah. Which also meant that I became anemic. You become anemic, and you have to now factor supplementing your deficiency with either food or supplements. So there were those issues that really bothered me, and but at the same time, as you're having to deal with that, you now have to also factor in that you either continue with that circumstance, or the other alternative is surgery. Yeah,
Rhoda. I mean, just as you talk about it, there is the aspect where you're dealing not only with the situation in terms of, you are unwell, there is your social life is affected. There is your family at that point as well, and one would hope that they would come through and hold your hand. But then again, it is also not guaranteed that when it happens, they would be there. So how does this affect your mental space, if it did, and how then was the support from family, friends help you deal with the problem? And when they were not there, how was it?
Okay, I think yes, a good chunk of my situation was dealt with by family and friends. When I'm home, they understand. I think at the time when I was first diagnosed, I had very small children, and at one point they thought, when one of those days when I had an accident, when they were pretty young, they thought we're losing our mother, that kind of situation. But at least you have the support of friends and family to just step in and just kind of handle the situation and just try and minimize the urgency of what you're going through. Other than that, there was also the I always say I especially with my second diagnosis, I was very fearful of and there was a lot of anxiety about because then the only alternative that was being posed to me now was the hysterectomy, that is the removal of the fibroids and the uterus, and that caused a lot of anxiety for me. And I would say I was very anxious, and obviously there's a level of sadness, because you're thinking, I think at that time I was like, I'm not young anymore. If I go in for surgery, you're wondering, will I come out? And obviously I'm not coming back out intact. There's a part of you that's being taken that is meant to be part of your it's meant to be part of me. So it was, I must say, it was depressing having to deal with the thought of going through surgery, and more precisely a hysterectomy.
Okay, let's take a break and we'll come back and then continue with this, obviously, and then hear from you, Dr. because the surgery is what is given us the option for a majority of women who have fibroids. It's the option. So it's either have the surgery or continue to live in this harrowing situation that Rhoda talks about. So let's come back and see if it still is the thing that we're saying. If you have fibroids, and not the little ones, the ones that are obviously, changing your life, then is surgery the answer? We'll be back. We're talking about fibroids on Healthy Friday this morning. Rhoda's here. She's telling us about her experience. Dr. Nishad also here, telling us, okay, well, this is what we're going to look at the solutions. We'll also take in some of your comments and questions as we get them this morning. It's 9:31. Continues after this.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Traffic.
All right, so still some traffic on North Airport Road today going out towards Embakasi. Still continues, a little smidgen of that as you come off from around Cabanas. And so we're probably going to have to deal with that for most parts of today, just to watch out, because, the major corridor as you move from point A to point B. As you're coming off of Jogoo Road, not too much there. Landis is busy, though, inbound to the city. Outbound traffic also on Landis Road is a bit of a nuisance this morning. And as you get off the Thika Superhighway, you're doing fine all the way through past Maranga Road until you get towards the Globe Cinema roundabout, and it's going to slow down a little bit. Folks going towards Moy Avenue, off towards Kirinyaga Road. But apart from that, I think we're doing A-okay. Let's keep an eye on things through the day. SpiceFM KE on X.
Gentlemen, this is the Pink Perspective on Spice FM.
Something bold, something nice. We got braids. And every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Pink Perspective, the brand new talk show on Spice FM.
Pink Perspective. Real women, real talk, real impact.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Our Healthy Friday conversation continues this morning, and we're looking at fibroids and fertility. It's interesting because we talk about the fibroids and then we leave the fertility. But we'll come to that in a minute. In terms of management, the options that you talk about, surgery is one of them. But from what Rhoda has told us, surgery doesn't guarantee management of them. They'll come back as they have with her. So is it still the solution that's being given to treat them, or are we saying that it's just a few cases where it comes back? Surgery, does it take care of it?
Fibroids can come back. If they're removed, new ones can grow. So that is there. But in terms of treatment, so traditionally surgery is what has been offered to women, but we do have minimally invasive techniques, so women don't have to undergo big cuts, big wounds, and a prolonged downtime of 2 months or more. One of the minimally invasive techniques that has been around for quite some time, from 1995 actually, is uterine fibroid embolization, and with that the recovery period is significantly shorter, and it is shown to be as effective as surgery in treating fibroids, especially if they are symptomatic for heavy bleeding.
So what is that, embolization?
So embolization is basically we use the blood vessels like a road network. So we go in through the left wrist artery. So a very tiny cut in the left wrist artery. Then we go in with a small tube all the way down to the pelvis, down to the uterus, to the blood.
Wrist in your arm. Not that there's another wrist, but okay.
Yes.
This one. Okay.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So we use your blood vessels like a road network. So we go in from the wrist, go all the way down to the pelvis, to the arteries supplying the uterus and the fibroids.
Okay.
And we put in particles that block the blood supply to the fibroids. And this kills the fibroids and they shrink, and the body absorbs them naturally. So no big cuts, no prolonged hospital stay. We do the procedure, you're home the next day, and you're fully recovered within 2 weeks.
Okay. Sounds like it will cost a pretty penny.
Not really. We have a package for it at Aga Khan, and it's around 470,000 shillings, which includes everything, including the one-night stay, the medication, the procedure, everything.
Interesting.
Well, and just to ride on that cost factor, I think one of the most prohibiting element why people do not seek treatment is the affordability aspect of it. And there are also other, I wouldn't say cheaper, but easily accessible ways of, screening to identify the growth, the rapid growth, because sometimes, we have also to demystify, and that's why it's good to have you in our presence today. Sometimes we attribute every painful cramping to fibroids. Is that the case? And does that mean anybody who is having very extremely painful cramping needs to go for screening?
So no, not every case of painful cramping would be fibroids. So there are many different causes. So always as part of the workup for patients, it would be important to first, if you're experiencing any symptoms that you think may be related to fibroids, the first thing would be to get a consultation with your nearest health facility, and then the second thing would be to get an ultrasound at the very least, because fibroids are easily identifiable on ultrasound. And then if you do have fibroids and they are symptomatic, then the more defined pathways of treatment then sort of get followed.
All right. And what would be these symptoms that one would see or feel that would warrant them, in your opinion, to seek now like an ultrasound or at a medical attention? What would be the symptoms that are different from normal cycle and that would be indicative of here? There could be signs of a false pregnancy, maybe they are over too grown.
So the commonest symptom that fibroids present with is heavy menstrual bleeding. And that's our number one sort of presenting complaint for all the patients that we see, heavy bleeding. Second sort of complaint would be related to the size, so bulk, symptoms related to the bulk. So if you have fibroids pressing on the bladder, then patients will present with symptoms related to waking up at night all the time to pee or feeling like the bladder's not emptying completely. Then you can have fibroids also pressing on your rectum, which means that patients will be presenting with bloating, constipation. And then generally as the fibroids grow bigger, we've had a few patients who have presented with just a bulky belly, and this is despite going to the gym. And they say that it's their tummy is not disappearing, and then when they go for a scan, they actually discover it's fibroids. So those would be the second presentation.
Rhoda, you see, let's say your patient is 001, right? So we find ourselves, as we talk about it, is that you had the conversation with mom because you had lived with that, right? And here you find yourself as well then in the same boots, going through the same process. And it's not easy, because even at that point when mom is thinking about it, is the tough time that I had is what my daughter is going through. That would then inform us starting to have these conversations perhaps early with our children, us having these conversations openly, so even with other women, for us to even push the conversations better, because as we talk about the cost factor, we only have results in numbers. So are we seeing these conversations now in spaces where you're in, having these conversations with young girls to know exactly if you see this symptom, perhaps it's important to go to hospital early, so that by the time Daktari is getting in, we're not getting in at the tail end when you're struggling to go to the gym. Yet this is something that would have been handled way, way earlier when they were still small.
I think that conversation now is making its way in every space. And in fact, sometimes I say had that conversation started earlier, because I found out about UFE, I think mainly when there was this campaign, especially with Lupita going public with her struggle with Lupita Nyong'o, that is when she came out public with her struggle with fibroids. That was towards, I think, 2024, 2025. And hadn't that conversation been there, I would not have also gone onto the internet and found solutions as to how women were dealing with it, especially overseas, because that's where I first heard of UFE. As Dr. Noshad said, it's been there. Even in Kenya, I think it's been there longer than I think he once mentioned it's been there since 2009. And had I known about it, I think that would have been my first option before I went for surgery. Yeah. So, yes, and knowing that it's also children or girls are genetically predisposed to to having fibroids if the generations before them had them, then it also makes sense that mothers should also begin having these conversations, so that you're more or less monitoring and seeing how best to deal with the situation. I do recall when I first got I got the second surgery to get rid of the fibroid. We used what we call a hormonal IUD to kind of temper the fibroids from growing again. But that was just temporary because the hormonal IUD that I got, I think, only lasts for about 5 years. So I think once it expired, the fibroids took full reign of the uterus again and started growing. And to me, I think they became even more aggressive. Yeah. So, the conversations need to be had.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and Dr. now, this is a reproductive organ we're talking about. So, when there is in the interference of the natural behavior or conduct of the organ, then would mean some of the natural functions like conception may not happen as expected. How does you say UFE affect, if at all, the fertility of the individual?
So what the most recent data is showing is that fertility outcomes in patients who undergo UFE are equal to patients who undergo surgery. So there's no difference in your fertility outcome if you have surgery or if you have UFE as a treatment for your fibroids. Now, traditionally, the old thinking has been that it can have an impact on your fertility. But like I said, the newer data is showing that there is the outcomes are similar. Yeah.
But Doc, as we talk about reproduction as well, when you have fibroids, you're told to have a baby, itaisha over time, But does it affect one from conceiving?
Yes, so fibroids can impair fertility. So it's important to understand that as a baseline, if you take a normal woman without fibroids and you take a woman with fibroids, their fertilities are already different because fibroids can affect the implantation of the embryo. They can, if they are located where the fallopian tubes open, where the egg comes from, and if they are located there, they can actually prevent the egg from getting into the uterus. So already as a baseline, your fertility is impacted if you have fibroids. So that's important.
So therefore, there's talk that if you're struggling with fibroids, you need to get pregnant, then is misinformation out here, and perhaps it's something that needs to be debunked for people to know. Perhaps when you're dealing with it, the best thing to do, or the only thing to do rather, is to go get diagnosed, get treated, for you to even have that chance of having a child.
Yeah. And now with the conception, the beginning of life is also, is very important. So if a conception happens in a uterus that has fibroid, is there any known effect to the embryo, to the unborn, to the newly to be born, to the child, and the development of the fetus and all that?
Yes. So number one, if for example, if there are multiple fibroids and say some of the fibroids are under the lining of the uterus, and if the placenta happens to implant onto that site, then it will have an effect because the placenta needs blood to grow or to supply to the baby to grow. Similarly, when you have fibroids, your uterus doesn't have that capacity to keep growing and expanding to accommodate the growing fetus. So rates of premature labor are higher in patients who have fibroids.
Are there known developmental conditions or issues of babies who are born from now the conditions where fibroids have happened? Because, as you say, there is competition between the growth of the baby and the fibroids now in the uterus. How does that happen? I mean, is there any known conditions that could... I'm trying to not sound like a doctor, layman, where a baby can be born with some conditions because they grew up in an environment that was not purely healthy, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, so the commonest thing is preterm labor or premature labor. So that means the baby is not able to develop fully or complete the 9 months. And being born early has several complications that can occur with it, be it depending on how early the birth is. So it can affect the lungs, it can affect the brain. So there are adverse effects that are associated with premature labor.
So it's interesting. So the advice to have a child or to get pregnant while with fibroids, where it makes sense because then you stop the growth of the fibroid, then could essentially be detrimental to this child as well when the child is essentially conceived.
Yes, especially if there are multiple fibroids that are present when you get pregnant, it can have a...
It can happen. Okay, so let's talk a little. We're looking at fertility and all of this. Rhoda, was hysterectomy ever suggested to you as an option?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've understood that hysterectomy is the total removal of the uterus, and does that, if it's complete, it includes the fallopian tubes and ovaries, right?
Yes.
All of that is removed. The entire reproductive system essentially is removed. What are the effects? I don't know that there would be effects because you've removed the whole thing. So what doctors would have prescribed this had you already had children, and they say if you've had children, then we can look at the option of removing it. Is it something that is still suggested, or if you don't have to, don't remove it, kind of thing?
Unfortunately, it is still suggested to women who suffer from fibroids. It's offered as an option. And this is despite the fact that these women are still not yet at the age of menopause, and yet they're being asked to remove their uterus and their ovaries and everything.
What are the effects of doing that? Or are there none? Once you're done, you're done?
No, there are definitely effects. So number one, it's a major surgery. It's not a minor surgery. So there are the complications of surgery itself, and these can range from blood loss, bowel, intestinal injury. So there are those effects. Then the effects if you also remove the ovaries, because the ovaries are what
regulate
your hormones. So you're basically going into menopause once you remove them.
Okay, so it's like forced menopause with a hysterectomy. All right, sorry, just another one here is that Belinda has made a comment here, and she's talked about the fact, so we're talking about numbers here, and it's actually surprising because how much can this uterus take? So she was diagnosed, she had surgery in 2002, and when they did the surgery, they found 48 fibroids.
I'm not surprised. We often see very large uteruses with a lot of fibroids.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So with the removal of that, I would imagine that would have been a mighty long surgery to then be able to remove them, and while keeping, the integrity of the uterus and all of that. What would be the recovery time for surgery? I mean, Rhoda's here, so she can tell us what she went through in a minute. But from a medical point of view, what will be the recovery time that we are looking at after surgery?
So if it's the traditional surgery of what we call myomectomy, which is removing the fibroids, or hysterectomy, the recovery time for that is anything from 6 weeks and above. So that's quite a lot of downtime.
Yes.
If it is the minimally invasive technique that we offer, then it's maximum 2 weeks downtime.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Hari, I'm just wondering. I mean, something one does not want to imagine, but in the event that now a patient comes and it is determined they need to undergo the surgery, they have not maybe conceived before, they're still of a childbearing age, they intend to, but the condition is so severe, you are more than likely suggesting that the removal of the uterus, the whole system. How does one cope? I'm looking at the psychological aspect of it, the psychosocial impact. And once the removal is done, the brain, does the brain register that this function can no longer prevail in this person's life, So how do you find the balance of the physiological aspect is no longer there and the psychological aspect? Maybe Rhoda might be the best person to chime into that.
So for me, I didn't end up getting the hysterectomy.
Right.
But contemplating it psychologically, even before I did it, was something I like I said, caused me a lot of anxiety, caused me a lot of fear. At the same time, you're sad because you're like, okay, do I stay with this condition or go for the option for surgery? For me, personally, I had already made up my mind. I am done having children, so I was not so much worried about the issue of fertility. But still, even when you're not thinking of having more children, you're still thinking of this part of you, especially as he put it, the early onset of menopause. So I'm still thinking of this part of me that God said I should have, but now I need to remove because I'm having all these other problems assigned to just carrying a uterus. So you get conflicted, and there's also a level of annoyance as well, like because you're like, it's hard being a woman.
Gave me this thing and now
the doctor said
you're like so you have to now sometimes now, like I said, you just have to take charge and decide what do you think, other than what you've been told by the doctor, what do you think is the way for you? Because then I took charge of that situation, and like I said, on discovering that UFE was an option, I dropped all other options that had been given to me, and I went towards the UFE option. As he said, it was just a little incision on the wrist. I was home in a day after the procedure, and I've been symptom free since then.
That's good.
The symptoms that I was having.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing that there are solutions out there. All that maybe is missing is awareness of what is available in the market, because most of patients, when you talk to them, is Dr. alisema to a uterus, or I just need to have babies and everything will be suppressed. But I don't want us to walk out of this conversation without including us men in this conversation, you know, because when you're talking about the uterus, there is reproduction aspects involved in there, and you'd find many say, "Iyo ni mambo ya wanawake," you go deal with it with the doctor, yet you're part and parcel of the cog, especially when you're trying to have children and there are complications involved. So, Rhoda, Daktari, then how critical is it for the man to be shoulder to shoulder with their partners, or even just being part of the conversations in looking for more awareness, more solutions being driven as a unit, not just as a problem that affects women?
I think it's crucial for men to be involved, especially if you're in an intimate relationship with a woman, simply because
hopefully with a woman, yes.
So your preferences are showing.
Yeah.
I needed to be politically correct.
Yeah.
And it's because your intimacy basically revolves around her reproductive health, okay, as well as yours. You could be one with an awareness of the fact that she has fibroids. You could be actually inflicting pain more than
pleasure.
Precisely. On the other end is trying to understand, especially if you're having a couple that's trying to probably conceive and have children. You could be laying the blame squarely on the woman, yet she has her struggles, which are not only physical but also psychological. Then other than that is also when it comes to once you discover what the problem is and now you're looking for solutions, and even after the solution has been found, there's now the process of healing and also now knowing that you're going to live with the condition through the process. So men being fully involved is important because women do need support from men when not only just for this, but all through, but specifically when they're struggling with reproductive health issues. We do need support from men. We do need understanding. And once in a while also, if we also need a shoulder, because sometimes when the body fails you, you need the physical support from your partner.
Okay, and Dr. perhaps quickly, what are some of the things women can do to prevent the development, if any are known as a preventive mechanism? Do it yourself, before, to prevent the development or the growth of fibroids. Anything?
So there's nothing really in particular that prevents the growth of fibroids, but I think just generally staying healthy and seeking medical attention promptly so that you address the problem before it becomes too big is just the general advice.
And screening, how often should one go for screening?
So for screening, I would advise that you go for screening if you have symptoms. So if you do get symptoms, then definitely see a doctor and get at least an ultrasound to see what's going on.
There's an old adage that you should see a dentist perhaps once a year, whether you have issues or not. So how often should a woman see a gyna, I would say, in respect to this just normal general checkup?
Yeah, so generally women should see a gynecologist at least once a year because besides, for example, fibroids, it's also important to get things like pap smears to screen for cancers and
such. That's been a Healthy Friday conversation. Rhoda, we're very happy that you're doing much better and that you've been symptom-free for the time that you've been, and we have declared that is the way it is going to be.
Yes.
Thank you for being part of this conversation, Daktari. Your expertise has been great to have this morning as well. Rhoda Wajiro Kibunja is with us this morning and has been with us. Dr. Noshad Karim, fibroids treatment expert at the Aga Khan University Hospital. Thank you for rounding out the Situation Room this Friday with us in this manner. Asante sana. For everybody who's been here this whole week, thank you for doing that. We're getting into the weekend. We're back Monday, God willing, for that conversation. Hey, Yolanda's here at 11 o'clock with Sugar and Spice and all things. Nice. And the girls are there with the pink perspective tomorrow. Becky and Ellen. And then
Wamsi.
after that, yes, Wamsi.
No.
And then pitchside on Saturday afternoon, the World of Sports with CEO. Thank you for keeping it Spice FM. Have a wonderful weekend. Good morning at 10 a.m.
The latest news from around the world. 94.4 Spice FM.
Good morning. This is the news. I'm Sheila Timbor. The National Assembly and Speaker Moses Wetangula have filed a notice of appeal